All right. Now, I hope all this is coming through. Let's see. Chat. What's up, Bowen? Yeah, here we go. Woo wee. All right. There's Miss Teresa. How are you? Rainy Ridge. Uh, probably Eric, maybe. Tina. Tina's probably in the bed. Hey, Wanda. How are you? Give it a minute or two. Howdy ho, neighbors. What's up, Scotty? There's Joe, Joey, Ginger. Well, probably just Joey. Yep. Give a minute. Everybody getting on here. Yes, Wanda, you did. You did great last night. So, hey, especially for your first live, I don't know that I've had 50 something people ever in one of my lives. So, you did well. Maybe for my giveaway when I was giving something away. Oh, okay. It, it is Tina. Okay, good deal. Hey, Lori. Lori's prepping for heaven. Yeah, I am trying Restream, and I hope I do all this right. Um, because last week during my live, as all y'all that was there knows, that it went like crazy on me, and I'm not sure if it was um, a problem on their end or what, but I went to the next night. I went on Amy's, and she uses the same. Um, I just drew a complete blank. Anyway, streaming. I'm sitting here. I keep looking at Restream because it's right here in front of me. Streamyard. Anyway, Amy uses Streamyard too, and it wouldn't allow me to co-stream with Amy. It kept doing the same thing. It was just freezing up my screen and all that. So I decided today that I was going to try this Restream. So, and they've actually got a deal going right now for new users. If you purchase it, and I think it locks you in for that cheaper price. So, if I like it, um, I may actually just try the purchase version of it. That way, people can go in and co-stream off of me or whatever. Yes, Teresa, she did. That's what I think. I seen Wanda had like I want to say 52 or 53 is what I seen in there in one time. That's awesome. That's awesome. You did a great job, Wanda. He was nervous. Oh, hey, what's up, Joe? Joe Jacobson, that is. Yeah, yeah. Last night, I was talking to Joe, and I didn't even realize it was two in there, two Joes in there. So I think I had them confused. There's Short Fry. How are you doing? Hey, Chris, Texas Raider. How are you? Let me see here. Jello. Sup, Mister Paul Case. So, look at here. See if I can figure this out right. How do I do this again? Hang on. I know. I don't know. This stream, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, this restream. I kind of like it. it's a little different, but it's pretty. It's I think it's pretty good. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good. Doing good. How about you? Y'all get any rain up there? Are you close to all that rain?
Pretty much rained all day here.
Okay. Yeah, we were. It was supposed to have dodged us until tonight, and I guess technically it did, but it started raining this morning about 9 o'clock probably, but just showering.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of stuff I need to get done.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of stuff to do. I'm like 20 Rick behind on firewood. And I got up and got started, got my couch chores done and stuff, and got everything prepped and ready to start. And smashed the end on my connector for the electrical on my firewood processor that's on my skid steer. And so I had to go through putting all that back together. And then, uh, I don't know, I probably cut wood for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And my electrical that goes to my wood buster, uh, you have to plug it in cigarette lighter. And the cigarette lighter quit working at the same time when they call it Bob Tatch, but it's hydraulic that operates your quick coupler on your front of your loader. And now I can't even get loose from my can't even get loose from the Halverson, so I can't do anything else.
You're
and
stuck there.
and I went and got my light tester and took things apart, and I found where I don't have electric, but I can't figure out where it goes, and no idea where I lost it. And I got a friend of mine has a mobile service supposed to come by tomorrow and look at it. I probably could have got half of that made today if I had been
Yeah.
able to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Mama said there'd be days like this.
That's right. That's what I said. I told them we've been dry, 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 and we wanted some rain. And I'm not trying to fuss about the rain, but the
Yeah.
problem is we got it all. We got like 10 inches. Is I didn't put all the point whatever's into play, but it was really close to 10 inches, maybe a little over 10 inches over that week and a half span. And man, it's still muddy. It's so muddy here. I see Chris and them there. I think you can see this now, right? You can see the.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I did. Yeah, I figured this out. That's why I wasn't liking the restream because everybody couldn't see the comments, but well, that was on screen with me. But the only thing I don't know. Yeah, and can you type? You still can't type a message on restream, can you?
No, I was never able to do it on the other. I'd have to
Okay.
go over to the YouTube that I still have open, but it's muted to put
I
in
got you.
a message to put in a comment.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
I can type to him.
Oh, look at there. Okay, hang on. Yeah, but hang on. Let me see here. I did not realize. Yeah.
Oh, Dale.
Hiya.
Hey, Dale.
What's up?
Yeah, not much. I
So
see.
what
I
I
didn't
do
see.
in order to
Okay.
type in the chat is I pull it up like
Oh.
you're saying, Paul. I pop out the chat and I put it over the top of this chat. Then you can type in.
I can't keep up with reading it when I'm on the screen anyway. So
I'm with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or I'll
Yeah,
have
Dale,
it
I didn't even know you was here, Dale.
That's okay.
So,
You got to watch
And it
up there
don't.
where the little person is.
Yeah, I
It'll just
see
turn
that.
red when somebody else is up there, or the
Yep.
number will change. Hi, Chris. Hi, Tina. Hi, Lori. I've seen a bunch of them in the ladies digging in the word earlier.
Yep, it was several over in with Dakota and them. I had just jumped off Dakota and them to come over here. Hey,
Hi,
there's
Scotty.
Kristen at Bella's Whispers Farmstead. Hello.
Dakota and
Kristen.
Shayla were getting so slow about their chat. I had made a comment and I went and took a shower. And when I got out of the shower, I heard him responding to my comment. So,
Well, hey, Hey, Dakota does a lot like me. He reads something, then he goes to talking about it, and before he gets through talking about it, it's way behind.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize if anybody went live over the weekend or anything because I was out of pocket.
Yeah,
I told
was the same
Trey
way.
and I talked today, and I'm like, dude, after about Thursday, I haven't seen nothing. So,
here, I tried to go hunting this weekend. So, what's up? What's up, Dad? So I tried to hunt this weekend, but I'm telling you, the only thing I killed was time and mosquitoes. So, and I'm not sure which one I killed the most of.
I hear you.
I mean, I seen some deer. So
I heard you all down there in Louisiana have skeeters big enough that when they land on you, you feel like you get light on your feet when they take off.
That's about true. I guarantee you.
That could be because they remove about half of your blood supply.
Yeah,
probably.
lighten you up some. I heard a story about a guy who was getting chased by a herd of them Louisiana striped skeeters, and he run in a well house, and they were so mean that they was sticking their stingers through the metal on the top of the well house. So he found a hammer in there and went to bending them over, and then they took off with the well house. I think it
hey, Pearly May, welcome. I think that's the first time I've ever seen you in here. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, some of these mosquitoes we got down here, they are they tough. They land, they stick it in, and then they walk in.
Yeah, them mosquitoes are bad, and they leave a whelp sometimes. But I want to tell you what, horseflies in the late summer around here, they get bad. That's why I wind up having fly spray my bulls and stuff. Cause them daggum horseflies. And if you ever had one of them land on you and bite you, you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. They have a brutal bite, sting, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know that you call that we get horseflies bad, but certain times of the year, there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they got a pretty good little.
They get attracted to stuff, and I never had any idea about this. I had first one of my tractors I ever had that had a cab on it was a 706 Farmall, and it had a aftermarket cab that you took the doors off from, and they had had glued felt down to all the surfaces on the inside of that cab, and it was red colored felt. And I don't know what it was about that, but I got off down here in a creek bottom, and them horseflies was attracted to that. And they weren't the big ones. These were the ones that was just a little bit bigger than a housefly, and they had a green head. And them dudes would get in, they just loved that felt. Well, they'd be in the cab with you, and they'd be eating on you too. And I had to quit and go home. And my dad laughed at me when he come in the house. He said, "What are you doing home? You done already?" I'm like, "No, I couldn't finish because I was getting eaten alive by horseflies." And he laughed at me. And then I took my shirt off, and he says, "Oh Lord, it'll be a wonder we don't have to go to the emergency room." They had
that's bad there.
Had them all over my back. And he went out there and helped me jerk all that felt out of that tractor. Never had no more horseflies in it. They were just attracted to that red felt somehow. Really? I don't know, was the glue in it or what, but
I'm gonna tell you, some of them talking about we hadn't been to Canada. I hadn't. Y'all may have some really big mosquitoes there, but in my video that's gonna come out in a few days, I put gonna be my first hunting video that I done. I'm sure if you listen, you will hear the mosquitoes flying around me.
that don't even sound like fun.
No, it's not. That's why I haven't been back since Saturday.
Not fun. Maybe it'll cool off for you and you'll quit having that.
Yeah, that's Johnny Gilliam goes on and on about, muzzle loading season is the only good season, and yada yada down in Oklahoma. But like I told Johnny, I'm like, you wouldn't say that in Kansas. And he's like, well, why not? I'm like, because muzzleloader season in Kansas is in September. It's still 98 degrees. There's still mosquitoes and ticks. And
Yeah.
spider webs and you name it. Like,
Yep. Here is I guarantee you that it's I told them when Dakota and them live earlier, I was on there. It's well, I don't know about now, but 30, 40 minutes ago, it was still 72 degrees here.
Yeah.
So, and then like where I hunt at over there, it's so low. If you look at any of those shorts that I posted from when I was up in the tree watching them deer under me, you can see all the water, and that's some of the reason because it's so low over there. Them mosquitoes, it's something about it. 57 there right now.
That's at Joplin.
Yeah.
Yep. We're still plenty warm, but they're saying tomorrow it's all going to fall off in the crapper late in the day or overnight anyway. It's supposed to get down into the 30s.
Hey, Mom.
That'll be all right.
Yeah, we're down to 70 now.
Do what?
When's that supposed to happen?
I think it's tomorrow evening, tomorrow night.
No.
They were predicting it for tomorrow night.
Gonna say, is it windy there, Paul?
It has been all day. It kind of comes and goes, but we've been getting little streaks of that rain through here all day.
Well, it's rained here pretty much nonstop all day. But then about an hour before dark, the wind started blowing, and it's been a sustained almost 30 mile an hour, 26 mile an hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, y'all getting some good weather there.
37 is what I show for tomorrow night.
That's what he's got there.
37, 33. And I don't know if that's Thursday morning or Thursday night, 29. But that's still 3 days away. They will change it twice before it gets here.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what it's going to do. But
I'm in southeast Kansas, and if you don't like the weather, just wait. It'll change in about 2 hours.
Dang, Beth, it's 63 where Beth and them are. And Beth is probably not, but about an hour from me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's coming because they are further north. Maybe it's cooling down, headed this way a little bit.
See, Joe, that just goes to prove Iowa's not a great place.
Get snow here now.
Because you're going to get snow on Wednesday. I'm out. It could get cold. I don't want nothing to do with that white stuff.
You know what, Dale? Good luck with controlling it, friend.
Yeah, no kidding.
He don't. I know who takes care of that, but he don't require any input from us about that. So,
well, not only that, if you want to hear him laugh, just make plans.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Well, I'm a farmer. I know. I usually go through the alphabet on letters for my plans during the day. I did do something today, though. Whenever my deal broke down bad enough, I just come to the house because basically everything I'd touched had broke. Why bother touching more stuff? Let's try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I could tell you what happened with the Bobcat. It's a Bobcat.
Yeah. It's a Bobcat. Proprietary parts, I'm sure.
Bobcat invented the skid steer, but they've yet to invent a good skid steer.
I don't know. I kind of like the two I've got, but John Deere and Bobcat must be really closely related on that parts thing because anything you go to work on there, you get it from Bobcat. They have a lot of them proprietary parts on them.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I become a Bobcat brand fan. I told him as tough as that thing was, I went to a preg checking school back last year. Well, I guess earlier this year, I guess it was. And they was herding cows, and they was herding cows with a Bobcat skid steer. Now, I don't know what number it is, but it was a cabbed, bigger skid steer. And I was getting tickled because they was herding cows with it. Well, they run all the cows in it. We were supposed to be going preg check here. Well, somebody left the gate open on the other end, and they all just made a big circle and went back out. And this is a big place that we was at. We was at a big ranch out in Texas. And anyway, he got mad on that skid steer, and he come across there, and the road, their driveway was built up pretty high. and he got them cows working back in the right direction. I did not know that a skid steer could go airborne. He jumped that driveway. Now, I bet you that was instant regret, because anybody that's ever been on a skid steer, you know,
They ain't got no spring in the seat.
Yeah, I was gonna say my buddy, one of my real good friends used to run a Bobcat in a like metal, kind of like a foundry, but it had it was made of multiple buildings that they built one after another together. Well, every time that they build another building, there would be a change in the elevation in the floor. So it would be like a 6-inch jump up or down, when they connected all these things. And of course, a Bobcat seat on them old ones back in the early 90s, they didn't even have suspension in them. They were just bolted solid,
Mine
pretty
don't.
much the way it is now.
Mine
Well,
don't have
he had-
suspension. The only flex is in the tires.
Yeah, he had I'm talking just the seat itself. Like it was
Yeah.
just bolt solid seat. And he had to quit that job because he had so many herniated discs from that constant jar down on his back. Just,
Have you ever heard people talk about a really good dozer operator and how a good dozer operator will sit in that seat and he never gets jarred around and things like that? I think there's probably some things you can do like that. And you don't have to like hurry around and be getting the wheels off the ground and everything all the time to be
I
efficient.
agree with you. I mean,
But this is the reason I like my Bobcat.
Yeah, let me
oh
see
yeah,
if I can do it. Oh yeah, look at there. Yep.
He picked
Boy.
that one up and set him over them bunks.
Yeah, it really impresses me how the weight they can pick up, because they're not that heavy.
Oh, that one weighs 9,500 pounds, and I did not run the log calculator on that log, but it had to be heavier than what my loader's supposed to pick up. It's only supposed to pick up 3,000 pounds, and there ain't no way that thing only weighed 3,000 pounds. It was half a truckload. I hauled some of them off like that here a while back, and 3 of those big logs like that was a load on my truck and more footage than I usually haul.
Yeah,
Quite a bunch.
that's a pretty good size log you got there.
Yeah.
yeah. I had a
That
customer. I had a customer years ago that he run a scrap yard, and I sold Gale skid steers. Well, Gale for a long time made like the biggest skid steer on the market. It was like 115 horsepower skid steer, and he switched. He used to do commercials for Bobcat, and like they paid him to go do Bobcat rodeo, do shows with them and everything, because he could do scary things on Bobcat. But he switched all to Gale because of that big one, and he's just kind of one of them that then somebody else come out with the one bigger, so then he switched to it, but
Oh yeah.
but he used to do things like when he started the scrap business, he just had a box trailer with the end gate and the top all cut off of it, and he would pull into a place and he would load and unload that skid steer, that Bobcat, in that box semi trailer without any ramps or nothing. He'd just work it out there to the edge until it teetered, and then he'd catch himself with the bucket and spread it way out and then walk it down that trailer, and he'd go and load it up, and then he'd pick himself back up and put himself in there, But
yeah,
my old loaders are both kind of old and dilapidated, but they sure do get the job done.
is that you got like an 853? That was the big boy Bobcat at 110, 863, excuse me.
No, both of mine are S series, and one's a
S3, yeah.
S300, and the other one's a S250. The
Kubota
300 is the one we use in the woods, but the 250 has a cab, air conditioning. I didn't care as much about the air conditioning as I did the heater, because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I use firewood with, and it's the one I'm having trouble with right now. But I won't let it go too long if it's raining and I can't get that guy to come tomorrow and fix it. I'll just run to the woods and get the other one, bring it home.
Yeah.
Ain't doing nothing over there. Just sitting
Well, I'm
there.
telling you what, you wouldn't. Yeah, it's rained here nonstop. Like,
The 300 that I've got, when I bought it, had foam filled tires, and I really liked them. And the guy I got it from told me they were Bandag recaps, and I'm like, what? He said, yeah, they're Bandag recaps. When one starts peeling the tread off from it, you need to pull it off and take it over here to this guy, and it'll take him 2 months, but he'll send it in and get it recapped with a new tread on it. And I'm like, seriously? And he said, yeah, the last 2 they did still had enough tread on them when I took them over there that they sent them off, and Bandag warranted the tread on them and did it for free. And I'm like, really?
no kidding.
By the time I had any of them that was peeling off, they were already ruined from working in the woods. Working in the woods is really hard on. We get into a lot of rocky spots and stuff like that, having to carry logs out up hills and stuff. But
so I used to sell a lot of McLaren, and they were solid tires.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't foam filled, but they would have a hole in them
or they have a little cushion.
So they have a cushion, and a lot of my customers that were foam filled customers changed to those because they said the composite would actually last longer. But
I've got a set of solids, but they don't have any tread on them at all. They've been wore down pretty bad, and I don't mind using those on the one that's home, but the one in the woods, we need a little bit of grip on.
You got to have some tread. I sold a belted machine one time to a guy that was kind of like doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was tree shear guy is what he was. He had a tree shear and saw, and them tracks didn't last no time up here in this high quartz limestone, and getting out there in that brush, he just ripped and tore them completely.
We took off some of those. The first one of them that we had ruined, I had a spare, so we ran my spare for a while, and I went and had a brand new tire put on. Decided I'd go get it foam filled. So the tire cost $150, and they charged me $280 to foam fill that thing. And that thing didn't last as long as the other 2 that were on there that were already half wore out.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just ate the tread off from that tire because it was too new. It didn't have enough age on it to be hard at all. So I kind of keep my eye open for the size tires that I've got that got a little age on them. And I've actually been able to find some of them, but I'm still running one of those foam filled ones. That I've had that skid steer 3 years, and the one that guy had last gotten recapped is still on there. Still has some tread on it. But
I know, Bowen. Right?
Don't think those foam filled ones are something you're just gonna pick up and slap on there, dude. Them ones on mine weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah.
2 men to pick them up, set them in the back of a pickup. And I got to figuring out that if we was gonna swap them, and those solid ones are the same way, I'm gonna get in the skid steer, and I'm going to put the bucket down. He's going to put a block behind me. I'm going to put the bucket down to raise it up. And then I'm going to let him get that up there. And I'm going to turn the wheel by driving it. So he can get the lug bolts lined up, because there just wasn't much wrestling them things. They're heavy.
Oh, you know it. I mean, Jennifer is missing out.
She is missing out.
I know. I'm telling you.
Well, I discovered something that I didn't know till here just a very short while back. We did have a 863 Bobcat, and it had the Deutz air-cooled motor in it. Isn't that what a lot of those Gales had, Deutz air-cooled?
The so the smaller ones, they did. It wasn't an air-cooled, it was an oil-cooled. So it used the engine oil like antifreeze.
Yeah.
Through an oil cooler up front. it wasn't like the air-cooled engines like they put on the tractors and the Gleaner combines that had all the sheet metal and the big, aluminum fan.
And
If you
Yeah.
looked at the engine, it just looked like a normal engine, with like this radiator-looking thing and everything.
mhm.
But yeah, the smaller ones now, those big ones, they used a Yanmar in them
Yeah,
and a
That-
Perkins.
that one we had the oil cooler up over the motor. and
Yeah,
it was
I thought it
juice.
did. Yeah, it had the same one that like the what would it be like the 5635, 6635 Gales
Something like
had in it.
That one we had I didn't know it when I bought it, and we'd had it for quite a while. It had a timing belt. It actually had a belt that operated the timing instead of having gears or a chain.
I hate those belt drives.
I'm telling you,
I guess you pick your poison with either one of them, but I'd rather have a chain in one that could get some slack in it and do some slapping. But man, them belts, when I used to mechanic, a lot of those forklifts with them Deutz and all those motors, that's the way they were. Good night,
Yep.
Pearly May. Thanks for stopping by.
not Pearly May.
The
Well,
one we
if I had my
didn't,
rather. Go ahead, Paul.
I didn't pick my poison. I priced it. It left.
Yeah.
It's still running. Matter of fact, it's sold again since then. I've seen it on Marketplace, I think.
Me, if I had my rathers, it would be gear to gear. There would be no belt or chain. And we actually had a discussion
Yeah,
about that in class the other day. They're like, is there any diesel overhead cam that runs a timing belt or a chain? And I'm like, yeah, actually there was, but not in big horsepower like
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Like,
That 706 I was telling you about, the old International, it was a gas tractor, and we actually had it break a timing gear. And it broke
Really?
it broke some of the teeth off from it. And the thing sounded like it
was
had a rod
weird.
knocking. You would swear that there was something coming loose in it. And we figured it out. We had a neighbor that had wanted to do some work for us. So we had allowed him to work off his hay billing by overhauling a motor on it. And the thing has a little flat washer that's cone shaped that goes on the front end of the motor there. He put it on backwards, and the edges of it was getting underneath between the two gears, and that had broke some of the teeth off.
oh my goodness gracious. You're kidding me.
And it did, man. It just sounded like it was hammering all the time,
Yeah.
but it was just them two gears not meshing up quite right.
Yep.
Yeah, we had well, I had an ordeal on Thursday night, or my live. You noticed we were like in two different places. Lisa was here at home, and I was, somewhere else. And I had a starter on my pickup that is not acting right. So I went to the auto parts store. I got a brand new starter. And first of all, if anyone ever put a starter on a 5.0 2014 F-150, you just tell them that you'd rather just stick your hand in a meat grinder because it would feel better. It was most
bad now, is it?
That's the most miserable thing I've ever seen. It has a bolt you cannot see, touch, or feel. Hidden. And if you look it up, there is video after video talking about how awful this is, And you take an old, heavy set, can't feel half of their fingers guy like me, that has no damage. And yeah, it was a nightmare. So anyway, I get this all taken off. I go to put the new one on. By this time, my much younger oldest son shows up, and he's just slaps it on there. We hook it all up, and I turn the key, and absolutely nothing happens. And by this point, it's like 10:30 at night. So I crawl back underneath there, and I'm like, well, maybe I didn't get the wiring, tightened down right or something like that. So I'm just checking to see if the wires are all tight. And I go to the little bitty exciter post and I have a 1/4 inch ratchet and I just start to put pressure on it and the plastic housing it's in breaks and the stud breaks off on the brand new starter. And I'm like, well, this is great. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, I leave for my trip in this truck. So, needless to say, I lubed up the old one, cleaned up the terminals, put it back on, and it worked perfect. And it worked perfect the whole weekend until Sunday morning when I got ready to leave. And then the old telltale didn't want to start coming.
Did that starter come from the Irish Parts Mafia?
I'm starting to wonder.
You know who I'm talking about, don't you? The Irish Parts Mafia. I know you know. I have a story about the Irish Parts Mafia.
No, that's not. Actually, this one come from an old time parts store in our county seat.
Yeah.
And
well, my dad bought a lifetime guaranteed alternator from the Irish Parts Mafia, and it got bad enough that I could pull on their lot and raise the hood and get the thing off in about 3 minutes, carry it in, set it on the counter, and they would have one waiting on me with the paper to sign so I could go put it back on. And that second time they did me that way, I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. I'm going to wear out the threads on this brackets for this thing. And the guy says, well, why didn't you just buy a Delco? I'm like, I didn't buy it. He says, let me look. A Delco was $3 higher.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Crash this thing and give me the other one. And they did. They did.
Look, as far as starters go, let me tell you, the most intelligent thing that any engineer out there could have ever done is when they put the starter under the intake.
Oh, yeah.
Have you not seen that?
That's an old thing. That's an old thing that come back now. They've started doing that again on new engines. I'm like,
yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking about. It's crazy.
Hey, the little Ford Rangers, they have the throwout bearing, the slave cylinder that runs the throwout bearing, made around the snout on the transmission. Yes, they do. You want to change the slave cylinder that runs your clutch, you pull the transmission. Yeah, great times. We had to change one of those. I picked the truck up and put the front wheels of it on the back of another pickup so we could get under it and change we pulled the whole transmission out.
You're kidding me.
Well, if I had another pickup that I could have done without, we'd have put the back end up too.
There was only one thing that was smarter than putting it under the intake, and that was, this red brand of tractor put the starter underneath the cab of the tractor, right in the dead center.
Well, the great thing about having it there is you get to buy a new tool to take it loose.
Yeah.
And
or when it shorts out and it continuously runs until it cooks the battery, there's no way to get to it to disconnect it.
It could start a fire there. However, I've been under the cab of my 86 series tractor so many times my cover's only got 2 bolts in it.
Yeah,
no sense of putting the rest of it.
You're probably getting underneath there so that you can move the lever and put it back in gear because the top cover's all wore out.
Let me tell you, we've got a 966 and a 1466, and I'm telling you, it has happened. It's got hung up in between gears. Roll pins come out. But
don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing rocks because if you've ever been around a Synchro Shift 4020, I feel your pain because
when they get a little wear on
them, rail roller shift system.
Well, Laurie said, "What about a car you have to pull the engine to change the plugs?" I don't know of one that you have to pull the engine, to change the plugs. But my wife, when me and her was dating, she had I'm trying to remember, it was a 90 something model Pontiac. Pontiac Grand Prix.
Grand
It was a
Prix.
Grand Prix with the V6 in it. And she wanted
Never
new
tried to
plugs to
replace
put in it. I was
a
going to do
what?
it. Do you know that thing has got a cam like built? You have to break the motor mounts loose and rotate the motor forward to change the back 3 spark plugs. I said, now
Corsica.
how
The Corsica was the same way. My
was
brother and
it?
my father-in-law both had a Corsica.
Well,
And
those
you had-
same Grand Prix or Grand Am, one of the two of those, had, in order to replace the water pump, you had to like take part of the motor mount off to get to the water pump, and then it had like this flat water jacket that ran across the back of the engine that was notorious for leaking, and the only way you could get it off was to pull the engine.
Hey, my cousin had a 4000 Ford, not one of the blue ones, one of the old gray ones.
Oh yeah.
And he read the book on how you change the fan belt. You block up under the engine and take the bolts completely out that hold the front end on to slide it apart enough you can put the belt in there and then slide it back. And I'm like, breaking the tractor into to change the fan belt.
I remember that.
Great idea. It's a great idea.
Look, if you want to see some great ideas, go work on some of these forklifts out there.
Oh yeah,
I'm
those are
telling you.
tight orders.
I mean, and certain ones. I worked on Toyota. Was my company that I worked for. That's what we had. We was Toyota, Case, Cabelco, stuff like that. But let me tell you, the Toyota forklifts was simple to work on compared to Heisters and Clarks. I'm telling you, some of them things you would raise the hood up, and the motor's just right there, but you couldn't see most of the motor. And the starter was one of them deals you reached up in there and you just had to kind of feel you with. I mean, man, I'm telling you, I hated getting some of those calls.
When I had a forklift, I needed another one to pick my forklift up so I could work on it because staying so stupid close to the ground. I had a Clark forklift, though, that I had to overhaul the steering cylinder on, and the steering cylinder was mounted into the back axle.
It goes inside, yep.
And you could take the cylinder loose, but you couldn't get it out of the back axle without taking the back axle loose. And when I did get the thing out and I took it to town and I had it all apart, and I told the guy, I said, I need new seals for this. And he says, oh, you'll have to wait till our cylinder guy's here tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. And so I left it there. And I go up there the next day thinking, well, I'll show it about whatever, 9, 10 o'clock. And I did. And he was there. And he said, this is yours? And I said, yeah. He said, that's on a Clark forklift. I said, how'd you know? He said, they're the only ones in the world that have a standard bore and a metric cap.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Really? See, I worked on forklifts for probably 15 years and I did not know that.
That was what he said. It had a standard bore on the cylinder, but then the hole in the cap was metric for the rod.
Yep, old crown forklifts.
Well, that's so like a local feed store I was doing business with, and at that time I had like a 350 egg hatcher, and I was hatching eggs, and they wanted chicks one day. And so I'm like, okay, I'll bring you chicks, So I brought a bunch of chicks. Well, they credited my account. So I'm getting feed from them and everything. And they knew I did a little side work, And they said one day I'm in there and they're like, hey, how about, can you put brakes on our forklift? And I'm like, do you really need me to do that? Well, we can work out some things. And I said, if I'm going to work on your forklift, I'm going to need a check or cash. And they're like, well, we could just credit your account. And I said, I don't plan on doing that much business with you. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, if the bill will be so big, there's no way.
Yeah.
We
Look,
ended
I
up
still
doing it.
work
My
on
son
it.
and I did, and like when we got done, you know, for some reason they never called us again after that. When I handed them that bill,
I still work on some for people. Matter of fact, I've got a distributor and stuff for one now. I was working on, and the guys got impatient while I was waiting on some parts, and they was going to try to do some of it themselves. Well, somebody let the genie out the bottle, and now it's been down for oh yeah, yep. They let the genie out the bottle.
Whoops.
Yep. Whoops. And
Whoop.
now where are they at? Yeah, replacing
Yeah.
all kinds of electrical things.
Yeah.
I had to argue
Those,
about that.
I don't know what year model, but the older ones of those Chevrolet, was it a Canyon pickup? They had a 5-cylinder motor. I seen somebody
Yeah,
talking about 5
yeah,
cylinder.
yeah. That
Yeah.
was Karma was talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know
The
how you get a 5-cylinder in balance.
Chevrolet
Well, I want to.
Colorado
It's a V.
had a 5-cylinder in it.
Yeah.
The Colorado truck had a 5-cylinder. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, the Colorado, both of them
A
would be the same
5-cylinder
thing.
engine, you know, Ford tractors, the 4000s and stuff like you was talking, but the blue ones,
The 3.
the
Mhm.
the blue one, when they went to like the 5000s and 4000s and stuff, they had a 5-cylinder in those. There was one
Really?
of those models that did, and that was the most unbalanced, rough at idle tractor you were ever around. Like it just, when it was idling, you swore it was missing on a cylinder because it just, you know,
I had a New Holland skid steer. It was 885 LX 885, and it had the 3-cylinder motor in it. And I'd had a couple of them before that had that 3-cylinder diesel, and it was good in them. And that one there went to giving me a lot of trouble, and it would smoke. And the guy that I got it from was a concrete construction guy. He said all we just ever used it for was to move around action rock. Well, when I got it home, went to servicing the thing, the air filter was completely plugged with lime dust.
oh
And
yeah,
so I figured that they'd scored cylinders or whatever. So my youngest son and I was going to pull the motor out and overhaul it. Well, we pulled that motor out and get started overhauling it. Actually, we didn't pull the motor out. We was going to do an end frame. And we figured out right away, somebody's already been here. And they had put some type of a hone-in sleeve in that thing and an undersized piston on one cylinder. And just about made me pull my hair out. You couldn't tell. They done a good enough job putting it in there. You couldn't tell. And I was trying to put a regular piston back in it, and it wouldn't work. And I went to talking to some people, and one of the guys I talked to was a machine shop guy at Joplin that does some work for me. And he says, "Oh, well, we could probably fix that for you, but listen here. Ford Motor Company and their tractor engine division made the sorriest castings there was out there." And he said, run a hone in one of those cylinders that doesn't have that sleeve in it, and you will find little gray specks in it. And those gray specks are where they got their sand mixed with their metal. And I'm like, are you serious? I thought that was a bunch of baloney when he was telling me that, but talked to a couple other people, and they said, no, that's the way it is. We wound up going and getting a tractor engine and putting in that skid steer, and somebody else owns it now. But yeah, it was one of those little 3s, and that was powerful, and it had good fuel efficiency and everything, but can't put up with the trouble.
Yeah, like Dakota, I can tell you why not 4 or 6, because somebody had to try to reinvent the wheel. Somebody had to do something better. That's the way most stuff goes, and it turns out to be a disaster.
sorry, I felt myself getting ready to have a coughing fit, and I didn't want to subject you guys to that.
Thank you for leaving us out.
Yeah.
I got into one here a while back. I put a clutch in a Heston. I think it was a 680 tractor. It was just like a 60 horsepower tractor. and the thing ran really good.
Man, I kind
but-
of had a PTSD moment when you just said a Heston tractor, because for years I was a parts guy. Wow.
Yeah, well, I did run into a little bit of issue with that, but turns out the pressure plate I needed for that tractor was the same as what they run in a bunch of Dutes. And there's a guy right over here by Jerry Butler at Stark City that he is a Dutes man. I took that over there and he looked at it and said, huh, that's the same as the Dutes. And he ordered me one. But the stupid pressure plate was $980.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that one there, it had 2-stage clutch in it, but it had 2 different throwout bearings, which is kind of strange. But the crap just keeps getting stranger the farther you get into it. I'd pulled the flywheel off because I'm thinking I may just take it to a clutch shop and let them build it. And guy over Stark City said, no, you don't want to do that. You want to put that flywheel back in there and use it. He said, if it don't have big grooves in it, you'll be all right. But 7 bolts. 7 bolts to bolt the flywheel on. No alignment pin.
Yo.
One way.
Really?
I had to try the wrong way 6 times.
Well, of course.
That's
There's a reason why you took a center punch and you punched the inner ring of the flywheel and you punched the crankshaft that you could barely get to inside of it.
That one you couldn't see it at all because the pilot bushing was in the flywheel and it was a bearing. I'd have had to knock the bearing out.
Yeah.
But hey, I couldn't see it at all. I thought about just making a mark on the outside, and then I'm like, 7 bolts, they got to be about the same. So no, that'd have been too easy. However, it was a Fiat motor. Did you know? Dale probably knows this. Fiat turned into another company that's now known as Iveco.
And
Iveco
also is now the parent company of Case IH.
Not exactly.
Fiat company owns Case IH New Holland. Fiat company, when they owned Heston, they completely broke Heston and Gleaner, and that when they left, they sold it for pennies on the dollar, and that's how Agco Corporation came to be. Was the people, the last few left with Agco, bought it for pennies on the dollar from them and started Agco.
What a lot of people don't know is that Fiat tractors made tractors and imported them into the United States for companies like Minneapolis Moline and Oliver. And we actually have an Allis-Chalmers that's a Fiat smaller tractor, so that those companies could have a smaller tractor to sell and not have to retool and make the smaller. And I don't know, they had a kind of a limit on them. Most of them were 60 horsepower or less that they done that and sent over here. There's a whole series of those tractors from like the late or maybe mid 60s almost to 1980 that all had about the same hood.
A 550 Oliver was a Fiat, which was also a, what was it, a 5-star Mini or something like that. I can't remember the Minneapolis Moline.
And then the next ones, there was 1360.
They were the weird numbered Olivers.
Yeah,
they weren't like the 1650s and stuff like that, you know.
And they were kind of hard to pick out because Fiat made them and let Oliver build their own grill to put in them. And White and Moline, they all had their own grill.
Or they were red and yellow when they were north of the border in Canada, better known as a cockshut.
The one that we've got has an Allis-Chalmers grill in it, like what a 7000 would have, but it's something Alice made to fit the front of that tractor.
Well, Dale, speaking of the tractor deal, tell me something. I hear that TYM builds the John Deere, is it R Series? That's what I know I know, like when I used to work for John Deere, that like the 790s and all that stuff was built with Yanmar motors and all that. But the guy at the TYM dealer said that, and I can't remember if it's the R series, one of the series of tractors that TYM is building for John Deere now.
I don't know for sure which one. I could believe it. Because, for a while, I'll call it the hay utility, the kind of that 100 horsepower market.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
think
could
that's
get
what
the
that may
cheaper
be.
Deere, and you know what it was? It was the Zetter is Better tractor. It was made by Zetter.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that one. I knew like
And
Yanmar stuff with the smaller ones at one
it
time.
didn't take them very long for that experiment to no longer be a good experiment. But there's a lot of that. So the TYM, I could believe that because they make like a ride around a 50 horsepower across the pond, utility style, and so that's probably true. I don't know. I'll have to do some investigation.
Well,
Now you got
but that's what they said. They said, "Oh, thanks for your money."
Joe.
But I mean, everybody around here they do like the TYMs, but it's one of
So
them
the
deals.
TYM craze is like it's like a Oklahoma, Texas, South thing. Like you come in my country and there's no one going to own a TYM
Yeah,
because it's like 200 miles to
to the
anywhere
nearest.
even remotely close to a TYM dealer. And
Well,
that guy's having to call somebody else like 300 miles away.
my old red tractors, I've got a dealer for them that's just, about 40 miles away. And hopefully he hadn't hauled them all off for scrap.
Well, I don't know that they've kind of took over a lot of the small stuff down here, and one reason is because they're so much cheaper. I went and looked at one of them. I mean, it is crazy that the price of them. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's when you're buying brand new, it's still high. But
Yeah.
I don't know exactly because I didn't even price a John Deere or a Case or something. But I can tell you, that a 75 horse cab, 4-wheel drive with a front end loader, extra remotes, front and back, all that stuff is about 49. And I bet you a John Deere or one of them at that is going to cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of about 70.
Yep,
Or
I bet you're right.
75.
I knew it would be somebody like Dakota that would bring that up on here.
What did we say, Joe?
Well, all of that
didn't
is
happen now.
all of that aside, there are a lot of people who buy tractors that don't know anything about tractors. And
Yeah.
so they're going to go for the price thing, or they're going to go for a brand loyalty or something like that. And those people you will not convince that they could buy a used tractor and do just fine mowing their 10 acres once a year for like the next 100 years. And it probably
We call them 10x2s when I was in the business.
yeah.
10 acres and 2 horses.
Those folks are going to buy a new tractor, and in 5 years they're going to have to buy another one because they let the mice get in it and eat all the wiring or who knows what. But and I know more of those people are upset about the tractor they've got than what I do about somebody that goes and buys them a old antique and has a little bit of brain know-how to run one or change the oil on them. I can't believe that some people just think these things happen on their own, which is really, I mean, I grew up on a farm and we use old junk and we made do with what we had. And had a neighbor that moved out here from town. He bought 80 acres and he got a tractor and a mower with it. And so he tried to keep the places that he wouldn't let us bail to mowed down with that. And after 4 years, I was over there cutting hay on his place. and I'd stop for a break or to grease something or fix something on the mower. And he come out there and he said, "Hey, I was wondering if you knew where to check the oil on my tractor. I'm just getting curious about if it's got oil in the motor or not."
Oh my goodness gracious!
Well, it was an M Farmall. They don't have a dipstick. They got them
They got
petcocks
Pitcocks.
on
Yeah.
the oil
Yeah.
pan. And
Yeah.
I'm like, "You've been using that thing for 4 years and you ain't never checked the oil in it." And he said, "I don't know how." And of course, the first thing that somebody does is they puts a great big wrench on them and twists the ends off from them. I took an ink pen and wrote it on the front, on the side of the oil pan, which way to go for loosening. And I helped him
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Yeah, it seems wrong, but
Well, I see like Dakota talking about the Coyote and Kubota. And then Karma talking about the Mahindra. I'm gonna tell you, we have Kubota and we have Mahindra. Our Kubota is a 60 horse cab and air 4-wheel drive with a front end loader, and then the Mahindra is a 65 horse open cab, but it's built like the old Internationals, off the old heavy duty Internationals, a little bit longer frame. And I'm going to tell you, as far as pulling, lifting, anything, I'm not going to say it's twice the tractor of that Kubota, but I'm telling you, it's way more tractor than that
There's
Kubota.
a difference. Mahindra, cast steel.
Yeah, that's
John
it.
Deere, cast steel. International, cast steel. Kubota, cast aluminum.
or pressed sheet metal. I think it was Coyote. A friend of mine worked for one of the Indian housing groups here, and they had bought one of those Coyote tractors when they first came out with them, and put a finish mower on it to mow around their stuff with. Of course, they went to having trouble after a while, and the shifting forks in the transmission on it were made of pressed sheet metal.
Really?
He said he brought them home, took them out, took the lid off transmission, pulled the shifting forks out, brought them home, and welded up all the cracks in them, and went and put them back.
It's no doubt. I mean, the price thing is I mean, it's a big turnoff when you get to the green tractors and the red. And I'm even the Kubotas. I mean, Dakota, I'm gonna tell you, bud, around here, the Kubotas is high. It's not much difference here between the Kubotas and the John. Now it is a touch cheaper to buy a Kubota than a John Deere, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not that much difference. But now the TYMs and the Mahindras and which we don't have the Coyote. Coyotes was here for a while, and then LS was here for a while, but they kind of,
that's a New Holland.
They kind of played out. We have New Holland here.
All the New Holland and Case IH compacts are nothing but LSs. That's who makes all theirs. So, Dakota, for some reason, like Dakota thinks it's fun to like come at Dale about this, but he doesn't realize Dale used to sell Kubota and everything else. And here's the difference. Like, I'm okay with that Kubota because there's a dealer network, but all these Mahindras and Coyotes and TYMs and all that garbage, buy them all you want. I just have one word to say to you: Belarus. Belarus back in the day was the same way. Just like all them, oh, it's so much cheaper. It's the greatest thing ever. It's cheap horsepower. Let's own one of these things. Can find me a Belarus dealer? There ain't one in existence.
There is
all you people
There's
that
one
have
at one at Veneta, Oklahoma, John's Tractor Works.
Yeah, and it takes you like a month to get a part.
Well, and that is the thing. We talked about it. We talked about there's Amy. About time you show up, Amy. I wouldn't do that to you, but anyway, I get it. We're talking about it's grown folks talking here right now, but that's the thing me and Dad talked about with the TYM, because right now we have a dealer that's right here. But when I used to work for Scott Equipment, and of course we was a Case dealer. It's what we were, but we had Mahindras, and we sold tons of them. But it was just like when they were done, they left, and that there's been a small group of places that's tried to carry them. And now, if we were to, if we needed a part for our Mahindra, the closest place that we can go is I think it's called Red Dirt Tractor in Alexandria, which is about 2 hours from us. And that, if there is a perk, to a Kubota or a John Deere or a International or even a Ford, or say Ford, listen to me, come on, New Holland, of those four, there's gonna be dealers.
There's a
Those
dealer
four,
network for all of them.
yeah,
Exactly.
they have established themselves enough. So LSU is New Holland. So, but that, but as far as those other tractors, you know, I think they're all good tractors. You see
Hey,
a lot of
to
people. I
each your
mean,
own. I mean,
yeah, I mean they're all good tractors. When you get in small, it's just a matter of, and that's one thing we talked about when we get up there. We need a 75 horse or bigger. Can it handle the day in, day out of in the hayfield every day, all day?
because I can tell
Or
you, I spent hours and hours of my life trying
yeah,
to make Kubotas cool good enough in the hayfield or on a planter or Mahindras hold up to the hot day in day out in the hayfield, or you know all that kind of stuff. It's the same way. Like if you go to buy tools now, Harbor Freight's got better with the Icon brand, but I did a lot of work with you know Harbor Freight tools.
yeah,
But do you want your knuckles to bleed, or do you want to actually take the bolt off and
yeah.
not have a rounded out bolt?
And
Everything else.
there's a difference because I'm mechanic
There's a
too.
difference.
There is a difference in the tools. And like I said, Dakota said, he's got 2 Coyote dealers within an hour of him. And hey, that's good. I mean, like us, we used to have like a couple Mahindra dealers within an hour of us. But it's not that they wasn't selling the tractors or whatever. I just don't understand why they wouldn't hold there, you know.
Hi,
And
Sean.
there you go with the eBay stuff. I mean, yeah, you can't, but like in a case like us, when we break something in the hayfield, we kind of need it that day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that does kind of hinder us a little bit, but and that's the thing. That's what we just worried about with the GYM.
Have you guys heard that birthday month, the old boy with the overalls? He's got to be like in North Carolina or somewhere, do his little deal where he calls his dealer because his tractors broke down. I don't even care nothing about brand loyalty, but it's funny. I was trying to find it. I was going to play it for you. See if we could get Trey's live kicked off of YouTube.
Of course, I got you.
Yeah. He's like, goes to calling Alice Chalmers. There's no answer. And he calls Kubota. He's like, it would be easier for me and you both if y'all to have an online parts lookup, He calls let's see, he calls Ford or New Holland and asks for the tech support because these tractors broke down, and they said, well, he's not in right now. He said, well, let me talk to the parts man. Well, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
What are you
You know,
doing
there's
there,
a lot
Mr.
of truth
Tony?
to that statement you just said right there.
he calls John Deere and he says, well, what's the matter with it? He says, I don't know. I just parked it and went and got my other John Deere. Just send me a tech out,
Well, I'll tell you, when I worked at the New Holland dealership. You talk about the worst technical help there ever was. That was that company. Like there was the land of no information, none whatsoever. Like
You
it was
know,
horrible.
we dealt with, we didn't have anything Ford, but we had New Holland hay rakes and a New Holland square baler. And we dealt with a parts dealer for them. And they also handled bush hog parts at Chatopa, Kansas. And
Yep.
it was Chatopa Ford. And if you went in there to their parts counter, you talked to Bill. Nobody else ever ran their parts counter. And you would tell Bill the part you were needing, and he wouldn't look it up. He'd go get it off the shelf, bring it up, write down the part number and the price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when they sold the business, the people that bought it wanted to put a computer in. Bill said, I want nothing to do with computer. And they let him go. And he worked as a janitor at the school for the rest of his life.
Really?
Yeah. And you call and tell him the same thing. I was working on a New Holland disc mower one time, and one of the gears on the inside of the bar of the disc mower had broke. And I told him I was needing that gear, and he says, I don't have it, but I can have it tomorrow. I said, what's it cost? And he told me what it cost because he already knew the part number. It was in there. I don't know whether he was, I don't know. he just knew it. He knew it.
Yeah.
Wasn't nothing
Well,
else.
I mean, it's like, I mean, I worked for Scotch for all them years. There's lots and lots of part numbers that I can still tell you right now. You know, 909 15 YZZF1 326 702 671. You know, that's just filter numbers, but you dealt with them so much that they're just like there. You know,
1157
1918-20-4 Kraus disc bearing 4-bolt riveted together flange. You know, you just sold millions of them, so you knew. Or the let's see here, the we just said it the other day, like it used to be 865 425, and it was a 5.9 Cummins engine oil filter for AGCO. Like they were all the same one. You know, the guy drove in the lot with his Dodge pickup, and he's like, I need an oil filter for my 120 white. And you go get it, and he's like, well, that looks like what goes on my pickup. Yeah, you want one for your pickup too? It's the exact same one, you know. But
yeah.
You just got good at it if you'd been doing it a while. But Paul, you're close enough. Did you ever hear of a dealership in Oswego, Kansas that was Strickland Brothers?
Strickland Brothers.
Yeah, the one brother, he was the parts guy, and you call up and on the phone it sounded like he'd ate 7 cartons of unfiltered Camel cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, he'd answer the phone and be like, Strickland Brothers, and you're like, well, hello there.
Mom and Dad's
you tell him like, I need a dampener for a F2 Gleaner, and he's like, 42-33R, whatever, and you're like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I got one in stock. How much is it? He just spouted off, and you'd go there, and
they'd have it.
He'd have it. He'd just go get it, and he didn't even have like I started in the parts business when we still had card files, and we're just starting to transfer over to the parts, and you'd pull out the card and you'd mark out your inventory and, and all that stuff. He was been running it all by himself for so long. He didn't even have one of them. If he was ever sick or anything, they might as well just shut the doors because no one knew where to find anything or if they even had it or anything,
Yeah. Strickland Brothers. We bought tractor parts there some when we needed them for Mom and Dad's little Alice. And all the guys around me that had Gleaner combines, they would call him first. And if they couldn't afford new, then they called a salvage. But you'd always call them first, and they'd have it. Yep. If you didn't have it, he'd get it pretty quick.
I see Carmen talking about the Snap-on things, how high. Let me tell you, one one reason Snap-on is so high, I will tell you, it's because they give a lifetime warranty. So basically, when you buy that tool, you may be paying for 3 of them or 4 of them. So they're covering themselves.
Yeah,
But
well, so we had some dead blow, like those plastic dead blow hammers, you know, from another brand.
I got one now. I need to catch
And I
up.
won't tell you the other brand, but I'll just tell you when we got them, they were lifetime warranty. So we've had them just barely over a year. And those students, those wonderful, intelligent students, can take one of them and turn it into just a stick in like a matter of 3 classes. And so I sent 3 of them with one of the students to where I knew, you know, that they sold them. And I said, warranty these for me. Get these warrantied for me. He comes bringing me back 3 brand new ones. And I said, cool. And he's like, here you go. So I just put them on the shelf, you know. And then all of a sudden my accountant, you know, the finance side of the college, they send me an email and they're like, we need to know what account you want to apply this bill to. And I'm like, what bill? They're like, this bill from so-and-so. And I'm like, I got to see the bill before I'm going to tell you that it's mine. So they send it to me and I call up the place and I'm like, what is this amount for? And it was like $60 a piece.
Oh.
And I'm like, what is this? And they said, they're those hammers. And I said, well, they're warranty. Well, I mean, they're not warranty because they only have a year warranty on them. I said, they said lifetime. So is the lifetime of them just 1 year? Well, yeah. I'm like, well, then I don't need your hammers. You can take them back because I could buy the Snap-ons through the student program for like $30 a piece, and they will lifetime warranty them forever.
Yep.
And I'm like, not to mention they don't break in 1 year.
But you know, the only problem about that is I have a dead blow hammer. I've got one of the green ones, and I can't remember for the life of me if it was Matco or if it was Snap-on that I bought it from, because I bought it from both of them. And I can't read anything on it. The thing's been whooped up so much, but it's finally blowed up on the end. I need to get it warranted, but I don't know what to look for.
Yeah, I had one of the big red Snap-on plastic hammers, you know, on both ends that had the sand in it. And I'd used that thing in a shop for years, and I mean, was abusive to it. Never did hurt it. Well, at our old place, we had a wood stove, and I'd put a pipe up for this wood stove, you know, for the for the, you know, chimney. And I made it out of like, I found a piece of 10-inch, like 1/4-inch wall, rusty pipe, you know, old pipe. And so that's what I put up there. Well, this one night, you know, the fire wouldn't hardly burn and it's smoking up the house. And I'm like, that thing must be suited up. And there's snow on the ground and everything. And I just got this bright idea. As I walked out the door, I grabbed that hammer and I walked out there to that, you know, off the back porch. So it's like below freezing cold. And I walked out there to that pipe and I just did one of these over the back of my shoulder. Boom, on that thing. And that plastic hammer exploded everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm like, uh-oh. I took it to the Snap-on guy, you know, 2 days later, and I said, I got a problem. And he goes, looks like to me you need a new hammer. He just handed me a brand new one. I'm like, cool. You know?
There's Amy. I was starting to wonder where Amy had went. I thought Amy had done like just got mad at me because I told her, hang on, grown folks was talking, and disappeared on me. But there she is. How are you, Amy?
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, she's worried about that. What are you trying to do? You trying to run Mr. Paul off right now?
Yeah, I think she
knows
is.
when he tells the story, he leaves us. So I mean, don't be pushing him to tell a story.
Well, I
You
broke
know,
everything else I've touched today, so you may not want one.
she, you know, she expects us to be in there and keep her live going for like 3.5 hours, but she comes into your live and wants to like shut it down after 1 hour.
Yeah,
There
What
it
kind
is.
of friend is that?
I
There it
mean,
That
is.
sounds like a
Amy, I was
bougie
there
friend
for
right
the
there.
5 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
I helped carry you over that 5 hour mark.
Yeah, yeah. Trey, I think it was probably more like pushing her over the edge of a cliff, and carry you over that 5 hour
Yeah,
mark.
just think though, Amy, you're so indebted to Trey and Paul for getting you all those watch hours, keeping you live for all that time,
They wouldn't. Your commenters wouldn't have nothing but complain about if we wasn't talking about
That's
tractor.
right. I mean, what would Jennifer have to complain about if all it was about glitter, rainbows, and
Unicorns, unicorn dust.
unicorns, unicorn talk?
You know
So
what?
I think from now
Oh,
on, if I
brother.
want to make sure that Jennifer Ocean Homestead's in my live, I need to title the live Unicorn Talk.
She might be
you
the only
know-
one we have in the live.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what a rhinoceros really is?
What's that?
It's a tactical assault unicorn.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
Kind of like a tactical assault possum,
Yeah, armadillo.
an armadillo.
Yeah. I was telling Dale earlier today. That's when me and Dale talked to us. Because as y'all can tell, I'm on Restream now, and I know Mr. Paul wasn't on here earlier, and it was several people wasn't. But last week, at the end of my live last Monday, I went to freezing up, and it went to acting stupid. And before it was over, I think everybody done left. It was just me and Dale talking to each other. Couldn't nobody see us no more. We was froze up or wasn't there or something.
We were live according to Trey's side on StreamYard for like 35 minutes, and it ain't there.
No.
Hmm.
And then the next night, of course, Amy has the co-streaming. So I jumped over and was just gonna co-stream with them like I normally do. And it was the same thing. It did the same exact thing.
I think
It
you wore out your welcome, Trey.
I may have. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you, I may end up. I like this restream. I need to see about as far as the giveaway tool, because I do giveaways, and I want to be able to do that on here. But I'm gonna tell you everything as far as fooling with it tonight. I like this. It's pretty good. And also right now for Black Friday, it's going to be a 50% off. So you can get it like really, really cheap if you want to buy it. So I'm thinking about doing the purchase, at least get it for a year, and like in the case of you, Mr. Paul, you need your watch hours, you can jump on, and I mean, you might as well. We're on here just chit chatting, whatever. You might as well jump on and co-stream, and get your watch hours and stuff up.
That way I could actually have a video in a week,
Yeah.
'cause I've been being really lazy about it. I did get one put up this morning, but only after everything else had crashed. I really didn't even know if I wanted to log into my account, but
Yeah, I hear you.
been one of those. Been a Monday. It's been a Monday.
Amy, you probably don't want to hear that because it was a lot of talk about engines and tractors and stuff like that.
Meat on the bone.
Oh yeah, all that.
On the hoof. I wish I could find that video.
They may do it. They may very well, because it's a lot of different people that make Snap-on stuff.
Probably.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's a lot of people that do. But hey,
No,
here's the
actually,
deal.
Karma Restream is cheaper, way cheaper than the others.
No, yeah, it is. I can tell you. I think for and I'm not sure because I haven't dug into it, but it popped up today. It gave me 3 layers, and it said look at other stuff. But it was like I think for a full year is $112 for a full year. And that's way cheaper than like StreamYard. What she say now, meat on the bone is gross. Look, Chris talking unicorn and stuff. Look at there. But yeah, so I don't know. But I do. I kind of like the restream thing. And I don't know exactly if I need to keep the chat pulled up here because y'all can't see the chat, can you? I don't remember because I've only been like on like your stuff. Like one time I think that you was on, but I got on with you.
I can see
But
the chat either
even
way.
even if you take the overlay off like
Oh
that,
yeah, we can
y'all
still
can
see it on the right hand side.
Yep.
God, I don't know if I want that big. You know what, Mr. Paul looks like? He got a lot bigger. There you go. Get further off.
Is that better? Can you hear me from back here?
Yeah.
I have to get this close to see unless you want me to do this.
That's right. Hey, don't worry, I'm the same way. You still got my readers on.
After
I
the
think
second
Karma-
time I did on something on Purple Wave and figured out I was on the wrong thing, I started putting them on, you know.
I don't know, Karma. Dale,
I think
go ahead,
Karma.
Dale.
I think that's 112 includes the 50%.
Yeah, that may be. So I would click on it right now, but if I click on it, it might keep me off or send me somewhere. It's sitting right up here at top. It's in a real bright yellow, 50% off only this Black Friday.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been paying that close of attention. Is Tina still in here? Tina and Jesse got on Saturday night after Jesse.
Oh my goodness, Lisa! Lisa told me all about that. Do people not listen to what I said? Don't bring anybody up. Amy can attest to this. Don't bring anybody on your panel if you do not know them or they refuse to show their face because there's some disgusting, weird people out there.
There is, and she had one of them come up, and he never did put his picture up, but he turned out to be a guy from New Jersey, and he talked to us for a little while. But I thought, this is kind of a little bit strange here.
Talked you into existence. I'm sorry, Mr. Paul.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, you know why Jennifer showed up? Because I said we were going to start having a unicorn talk. That's why she showed up.
Hey, and Chris put up a bunch of unicorns across the
bottom.
That's why. That's it. It brought her up right there. I'm sorry, Mr. But yeah, I jumped on late. So what I heard him talking about somebody got on, but he wouldn't show his picture or something.
Yeah, they pulled the guy up that they shouldn't have, and after that, Tina told her, Jesse, unless they have their picture up or them or both, pull them up. You don't know who they are. And
Tina went to bed earlier.
There's some people who have following that seem to show up wherever they're at, and we've had trouble with some of them putting vulgar comments in the comments and stuff. And you can figure it out. You can figure it out pretty quick who it is, because they when they show up, then these other folks are like, I don't know how they do it, but they're following them.
Yeah, I might see if I can get. Do I have any bling bling here? This might interest Jennifer a little bit. Hang on, how about that, Jennifer? Does that help things, Jennifer? Does that make it a little bit more interesting?
Kind of tripping me out, man.
Okay, Dale, have you had a bolt lately you couldn't get loose? That's a question for me. You guys that work on newer equipment, do you ever have a bolt you can't get loose? Have you seen the deal where the guy cleans it all up as best as he can, and he's got it to where it'll run down in there, and he melts a crayon and lets the wax run down in there?
I've seen that.
And I wondered if it's fake or not. I mean, I know some of that penetrating oil stuff you put in there ain't got no lubricant in it, and so you'll put that in there and get it loose, and then it'll still squeak and tear the threads all up coming apart.
Yeah, I've seen all of that. You know, one of the best things that I've seen is that inductive heater. You know, we've used torches for years, but Paul from Fab Rats, he used one of those the other day to get a harmonic balancer off of an engine. And that was the coolest thing ever. Like, you just put this thing on there that looks like a soldering iron, but it doesn't get hot until you put it on the bolt, and the bolt gets stupid hot. And he put that on there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then he put an impact, and it just buzzed right out of there.
Well,
the problem with the torch is when you go to heating up with the torch, you heat up both parts, so you're not doing yourself any good unless you walk away from it and let them cool down, and then they'll separate from each other. Really,
so that may answer some of your problems. See, there, Jennifer says you can melt wax to get broken key out of a lock, so it may kind of work in some of the same stuff.
What?
You can also pick one of those dead blow hammers and get a key out of a lock too. Well, you get the whole lock, or the door or whatever you hit. But anyway, Trey probably seen this on Ranching Sodak. He had some way of heating up some nuts or washers or something, and he was welding together plastic by pushing a hot washer into it on a 4-wheeler he had that he was working on. And I'm like, well, you know what? If you could do that, I'll just bring it right on up there to you.
That's it worked. I seen him doing that on that 4-wheeler. Look, he fixes all kind of stuff. That man is something.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that he hadn't figured out you can run, and maybe he don't like it. Maybe he's tried it, but we went around here for like months at a time with our torch bottles being open or empty, and we'll use a real thin cutting blade on an angle grinder. Shoot, cuts just about anything. You don't have any cleanup. I can't believe how good that works.
Let me tell you, I use at work one of those band saws, those Milwaukee battery operated, and that thing, it works amazing. But I got a hold of some drill stem when I was cutting some of my post, and I'm telling you, I run every blade that we had. That pipe had hardened, or I don't know what, but I'm telling you, I run every blade up there.
You ever tried to bore drill stem, like they bore underneath a road or whatever?
Yeah, where it'll get magnetized.
Yeah, and you go to arc weld it, and your arc, when you get it close to it, it'll just deflect off to somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, Karma, I know I seen that's what it was. I knew I thought it was like 114 or 119. So now I don't know, because it says up here at the top that it's 50% off only this Black Friday. So I don't know if I don't think it's going to be 50% off of that 114. The 114, if I understood when I was reading it today, like I was in a hurry trying to get this set up before I went out today, so I hadn't looked much. But I think the 114 is if you're a new subscriber to Restream, you can get it at 114. So I figure the 50% off is going to be whatever the normal price is of the Restream. It's probably going to be 50% off that, which is probably going to be possibly cheaper than the 114. But what I was reading today, it almost like if you're a new user, it locks you in at that 114. So technically, I mean, would it be cheaper to do the 50% Black Friday thing, or is it be cheaper to do the 114 if that's what it's going to be every year? To save in the long run, So I don't know. I'm gonna look into it more.
I don't know either. I don't know what may happen there.
Why aren't you drinking out of a Paul Case cup?
I'm not advertising for anybody, but
you're not advertising.
Here. You can't get one of them new.
No, you can't.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you, Trey, that you was talking about cutting that stuff with a bandsaw, and Farmer Tyler Ranch uses that bandsaw he's got and cuts that
Yep.
pipe that you can get.
Yep.
Well, last time I had went and bought some pipe, there's a guy at a feed store down here that gets some of that oil field pipe in. And I told him I didn't care what I got, whether it was 2 3/8 or 2 7/8. If he just had some, I'd be happy to get it. He sold them to me for $1 a foot. And when we went out there to load them, he says, I'd like it if you'd take these. I said, those look fine to me. They were 31 feet long. And he said, good, because I hate them. They're doubled. And they had
they got the liner in them.
No, they had a wall on them. It was almost 1/4 inch thick. And he said they eat up twice as many blades for me to cut them into posts for people.
A lot of mine that I do here that I get, it's got the liner. So it's got like a fiberglass or fiber. I think it's fiberglass, the ones I got.
Yeah.
But, or something like it. Or man, it's so bad. It's so bad to weld and cool.
The old ones that had a liner in them were black plastic pipe that they shoved down in them, and you couldn't deal with it. They'd catch on fire while you're trying to weld.
Oh yeah, I've had some of them that caught on fire. Yep.
What that guy had though that he was cutting them pipes with was a concrete saw with a metal cutting blade on it. It was like a big steel chainsaw with a circular blade. Then.
Yeah, that is the way you do that. When you're going to weld that, you wrap the ground around it, and that it demagnetizes it so you can weld it.
I ain't doing it, so I was just there when it happened.
You just reminded me of somebody that I ain't doing it, gal.
I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it.
The motor crank didn't release from the crankshaft.
Up here we got those trees that like you cut and you put them as a post.
Yeah.
And 100 years from now, your great grandchildren will be pulling them out, going, "This is the hardest thing I've ever seen in my life."
My folks put some of them in around the corner of their yard, and a guy ran off the road and totaled a car hitting one of them, and it broke the post off. And we had to pull the pieces up out of the concrete so we could drive another post there. You couldn't even drive a steel post through it with a big post driver. But theirs were pretty good size. I'm going to say when they put them in, they was probably 12-inch or something like that. Pretty nice. And the middles have rotted out of them. I never seen them do that, but they've only been there 54 years. I don't know why the middle would rot out of them like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would either, because like there was a pile of them that, where my grandpa had tore down a fence, and there was a pile of these hedge posts sitting there. And one year I got desperate for firewood. Because I didn't have any dry firewood. So I got the bright idea. I would just go there and take the old chainsaw and chunk that up. And, it's a funny feeling when you stick a chainsaw into what is a piece of wood and the chain starts throwing sparks.
What kind of tree is this?
It's Ozark orange hedge. In Oklahoma and Texas, they'd call it bodark.
Oh, see, some of this, one of Dad's friends.
Osage.
Is it black locust, maybe?
No.
He cut Dad some black locust post and some stuff he put up around his house. And some of that stuff, Dad let it sit too long before we went to put it up. And we had to take a drill bit and drill holes.
Well, if you think black locust is hard,
I think
let me introduce you to a hardwood.
Wow.
I've sawn some of that hedge, and it is hard. You can put a brand new blade on the mill, and you'll cut one log up, and it'll be so dull it won't cut. I mean, it's hard to cut even when it's basically fresh or whatever. It'll cut all right when it's fresh, but it dulls your blade a lot. It's almost like the stuff's got grit and the little thin bark it's got on it.
Yeah. When I was selling, there was a company from up in Canada that made a tree shear for the front of a skid steer. They were so proud of this tree shear. This thing will cut anything. It's this indestructible tree shear. And my rep said, "You send me one of those." And he said, "I've got a salesman that works for a company down in Southeast Kansas." And he said, "If it's as good as you say," he said, "we'll have 20 of them sold within like 2 weeks." And so he brings this thing down, and he called me on the phone. He's like, "Hey, I want to demo this." And he goes, "I want your best tree shear customer." And I said, "Okay, I know exactly who to take this to." So we take this thing to this guy, and I said, "You get to use this for a day. We want to be there. We want to take pictures. We want to see how it works, and that kind of stuff. And if it's good, we want you to try to buy one for him. I'd like to sell you one." And he's like, "Okay." So he brings this thing down, and the very first 12-inch tree, he pressures this thing up, and it goes like creak, and then all of a sudden, bang! And I mean, it breaks the half-inch steel. It just breaks it clear off the side of this thing, and he's like, "Well, I ain't owning one of those." And so this rep, he's taking all these pictures and he's texting it to these people up in Canada. And they're like, "Well, it's not supposed to cut concrete." And he's like, "It's not concrete, it's a tree." So he goes and takes a picture of the tree. And they're like, "What kind of tree is that?" And he says, "Hedge." And they're like, "It's in front of a house?" And he's like, "No."
Yep. And the strange thing about hedge is that there's a tree called mulberry that's a cousin of hedge, and the wood looks just like hedge, and the bark looks about the same. And mulberry's soft. Woodwork
soft as can be. Yep.
Work with.
I know a mulberry.
Yeah, but if you get a hedge, you will know.
Hedge are famous for hedge apples. You ever heard of a hedge apple? It's this green. It almost has the texture of an orange peel, but it's green and it's like this big around.
Mm-hmm. And cattle will choke to death on those.
Oh, yes, they will.
The difference between hedge though and mulberry that's really, really noticeable is thorns. And they'll always
hedge has thorns. Mulberry does not.
I had some people try to tell me that they had a thornless hedge in their yard, and I said, "I bet you don't."
Not to mention, mulberry tastes amazing in a pie. You couldn't pay me to eat hedge apple.
I'll tell you what the old timers did with hedge apples. They gather them up, throw them under their house.
They're nature's mothballs.
We've got some stuff here. I don't know what the tree is. It's got a big green deal on it, but I've never heard anybody ever call a tree down here hedge like that. So I'm not sure.
Bodark or Osage orange. That's the two other names of it. Bodark.
Some people called them horse apples. Apples.
Huh. Wow.
And I'm going to tell you, it is the hottest firewood. I mean, you will completely melt the firebox out of a warm morning stove. Completely melt it out.
Oh, hang on, let me get you here.
Yep, that's a hedge apple.
Oh. I have seen some. Huh. You gonna make me have to. I know where some of those are that do that. I'm going to go check that out.
Yep, the bark of the tree will look a little bit like a mulberry, but it'll have thorns on the tree. They aren't big thorns. They'll just be like maybe half-inch long, but they are razor sharp. And the trees of that hedge that's left to grow to their own devices grow more like a bush. They don't like getting tall and stuff like that.
In my country, they can get pretty tall in the
They can get tall if they're close
hedgerows.
together to where their surroundings make them go up for light. But if they're left out in the open, they just become a bush that's a nuisance. You'd have to get a dozer with a tree pusher on it to be able to keep you out of the bush on the ones that are growing out on their own.
Yeah.
I had a HD 16 DC, which was a 16-ton old Alice Chalmers dozer, and it had a tree pusher that went way out over the top of the blade. And I still had the tree pusher stick out maybe 3 foot in front of the blade, and I would still wind up getting in some of them trying to clean up and the briars off from them things to get all the way back there at the back of that. It was like 15 foot long plus that tree pusher.
That's crazy.
They're not hard to uproot most of the time. Their roots don't go straight down, but they'll have amazing spaghetti roots that go all over the ground around them.
Oh,
Yeah.
And in my country, they'll pick up every rock possible as they grow up in those roots.
Yeah.
And when they push them out, it leaves this gigantic
Rock pile.
hole
Yeah.
that's just all bits and pieces of rock, you know.
Yeah. What about a skid steer? You'd be way too close into that tree if you was doing that.
skid steer.
You'd need
They do a lot of it with skid steers here.
You'd need a full metal body armor.
They run cab skid steers with forestry protection in front of the window.
Well, we I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it is thundering. It is carrying on. It is raining here so hard right now.
Want me to tell you a story? Make you feel better?
Oh boy. Well, I don't know if it's gonna make me feel better. You're gonna just leave us. You're gonna just disappear on us.
I know you ain't gonna believe this, but I was in FFA when I was in high school. And I applied and received the I'm just gonna tell it like it is, a state farmer degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year later, I applied and received the national farmer degree. And I got to walk across stage at the state or at the national convention when they've had it back in Kansas City then. And they had Baxter Black there speaking at that convention that I was at. And they had another guy that gave a talk. If I said he's name, you would know him. He was a motivational speaker, and he was a Christian and a really good man. And he said a couple of things. It was raining really hard that day, and he said a couple of things that really hit me kind of funny. Zig Ziglar was his name. And the two things that I remember that he said was that when he grew up, they didn't have any black dirt except where they drained the oil out of their old pickup truck. And he had seen it rain so hard there where he grew up at that it would dam up behind a 3-wire barbed wire fence. And one time he seen it rain so hard that it filled the pickup bed up level full with the tailgate down.
Now that's a story. Jeez. Zig Ziglar. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now in my repertoire of known speakers stands Zig Ziglar, Baxter Black, and the infamous Paul Case.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh.
Hey, I do know what Lori was talking about.
Okay.
If you go down to the settings button, you can change it to where it says mirror my camera. And like if you hold up writing, it will be not backwards to people.
Oh, I got you.
And how I know it was, how I knew I was wrong was my door that's on the left of me was on the right of me. So,
Huh. Well, let me see. Where am I at over here? Oh, people telling Paul bye. A little too late for that. He gone.
he gone.
Yeah. Hey, look, Jennifer, we can hook you up. You just need to jump on here with us one night, and we'll just talk about tractors and bling bling and everything else. Ooh.
Just
But,
disappeared like money on payday. I got to remember that one, Jennifer.
Hey, yeah, Chris, I do, and I actually have right now a guy that's working on a website for me, and I may regret doing it because I know a lot of people go through. I think Dale and them. Who do y'all use? That
We
does
used Teespring for a while.
okay, well, ain't who I was thinking about. I was thinking it was
The other one is Bonfire. That's
Bonfire.
what
That's
Johnny
what a
and
lot
all
of
of them
people.
use.
So
And I think we might be trying to switch to that.
well, I'm going to try and just do. He's going to do me a website. He's working on it just in his off time. I've got to pay for all the stuff. He told me he would do it pretty much do it for free. Just I had to pay for everything he needed, which he said it wouldn't be just stupid high. But anyway, I'm going to try to do that. Have my own website and put a store. And I've just got to where I can have a store on here. Did Paul press button again? He disappeared on
Trey,
us.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta go for just a second here.
Okay. But anyway, Chris, I'm going to, and Mickey, I'm trying to get Mickey is supposed to be working on um a drawing for me, a tune. So hopefully I get that. We're going to do some do some other stuff. I don't know the popular things that people do. I think the benefits to like the bonfire is they have all of your stuff. Um, but and so when somebody orders something, they can just go and put it on there. And I think that's the big thing to that. To where me, I don't know that I'll have someone that can do mugs for me or something like that. Now I don't know what people would want or if people would even buy. Like I said, I've got my caps that I do. I've got some shirts. We're gonna get some different shirts made, and we're gonna do some hoodies. And I'm gonna tell you that the thing that's getting me. Let's see. We showed up just as Paul. Oh, um, I'm switching to a website soon. Well, and I don't know if a website is exactly the way to go. Um, but I'm I'm gonna try it. But I can tell y'all that the problem with all of this stuff right now and logo, yeah, he's drawing us a logo is what he's doing. But this is the box right here that I'm shipping my caps in. Um, I could get uh, I could do send the caps in a bag. I think whatever you call it, one of those packages. And but I don't want to deform or take a chance of deforming the bibs or something on them. So I sent them in the boxes, and I sent. I've still got a couple to send out to people, but man, the shipping is what is so expensive now. A T-shirt, I think shipping a T-shirt wouldn't be too bad, because you can just put it in one of those bags, and they're not crazy expensive. But like the caps I sent out the other day, I think I sent out three or four caps. And the cheapest cap that I shipped in a box the size I just showed y'all was like $10.50. And the most expensive one I shipped was to Bowen, and it was $11 and something. So that's the thing. It's maybe I guess I see why so many people sell caps and stuff are so expensive if they're going to cover the shipping, because I mean there's no money to be made in a lot of that stuff. You would do, if you do it, you're just pretty much doing it to let people buy your merch, to basically kind of promote
Man,
you.
I'm thinking $10 is cheap for freight. I sent somebody I sent somebody a flat koozie. Like if you've seen our koozies, they're flat.
Mm-hmm.
I sent somebody one of them. It was like $16 to send it.
How did you send it? What did you send it through?
U.S. mail, just like
mail. Well, this is what I show them. You see this box? This is the box here that I sent. Did you get your cap?
I might have a box that looks like that around here.
But anyway, that's the box. I mean, you can see it's not. I mean, the cap barely fits in there, and that's what it costs to send it postal. And like I was saying when you wasn't, I don't know if you could hear me, but I said I could probably do the package, put it in the envelope deal, and do it cheaper. But I just don't want to take a chance to.
Yeah, I'm with people. I've seen some comments on there. I kind of heard it. Yeah, the hat would no longer have the shape that you want it to have.
Yeah, that's why I went with the box. So it cost me, and I don't even know, to tell you the truth, I haven't even figured up what these caps cost me, but it was like about $200, a little over $200 for a dozen caps.
You mean a box that looks like this?
Yeah, hey, look at there. Yes, a box that looks just like that.
I was gonna do this a different way, but why not? Being we're on here.
Well, I'm sorry. You didn't have to. You could have just said yeah and rolled on it. Well, what do you think about that camo like that?
My wife's like, I don't know if you got the right hat. I said, I like it.
That was it. That's why I told you it was different. Oh.
It's kind of hard to see with my light to see what it is.
There you go. It looks good there. Yeah. Oh, look at there. Yep. No. But yeah, like I said, the shipping is what's so high about it. But he's working on a store, and I may have, or a website they'll tie in a store.
I know somebody on there who said it. Oh, Karma said that Jesse and Lisa use Pirate Ship. I checked into Pirate Ship, and like they won't ship for me. Like I said something to the post office about it, that you got to pay extra fees, or you got to have a printer to print the label. I'm just not really, I don't know. Maybe can't figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be something, because as much stuff as Jesse and Lisa ship, maybe they get a quantity discount or something, because what gets me, I sent a Badlands. I have a Badlands backpack. It's what I use for hunting, and they have a lifetime warranty on them. But so whenever I send it back, I have to pay for the shipping there and the shipping back. They handle all the cost on the bag, whatever. Well, they charged me up front. I had to pay the shipping back. $15. I mean, it's what they charged me to ship it back to me. But when I went and shipped it to them from the post office, and I ain't got it in here, so I give it to my son, but it cost me $54 to ship that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. $54 to ship that backpack back to Badlands from post office. The same postal service that Badlands shipped it back to me for $15. And it probably didn't even cost them $15. So I think some of that stuff, if you do a lot of business with somebody, I think that there are some big breaks that go in there. Because otherwise, I mean, you think about Amazon, think about the stuff that Amazon ships out. They do it,
well, you know,
and it's
I've got a friend at work that her husband works for the post office. And do you notice they don't ship anything Amazon through USPS anymore?
but we do. We do.
USPS here, or what she said is Amazon started using their own. See, our Amazon don't. They have their own delivery.
Oh, see, ours don't here. Not yet.
Because the post office started charging them more for shipping it because, you know, you take like a rural route carrier. If they put Amazon packages, their whole vehicle will be full of nothing but Amazon packages, and they couldn't carry the regular mail. They'd have to make several trips. You know, they'd have to break up their route so much.
Yep. Yeah, ours, see, but they are building an Amazon warehouse like in Monroe, which is from us about 45 minutes. Now, I'm sure that that may lead into them having their own deliveries, but like the way ours was working here is UPS was handling all of their stuff. Well, UPS and this makes no sense. UPS and Amazon supposedly had some headbutt deal.
Yep.
So Amazon said, you know, fine, we're not going to use y'all. We're going to use USPS to do everything down here. So that's what they did. Well, this is the crazy thing. I tracked some packages that I've got. They ship them UPS all the way to our local UPS. And instead of them putting it on a truck and bringing it here, they put it on a truck, and all the Amazon packages, the small packages is what it is, a certain size, on the truck and send it to our local post office. And then from the local post office, this other thing, it don't make sense. Then they, of course, disperse it. But I had a package, and I cannot remember what it was now. But anyway, I tracked it, and I was needing it bad before the weekend. Because we were not bad. We were going out of town, and we were leaving Thursday, and it was going to be shipped Friday. Hey, Dana, shipped to showing to be delivered here Friday. But I woke up Thursday, and Thursday morning it got delivered to our local post office. So I told Jessica, I know what it was. It was my my mics, my wireless mics. I didn't want them to be left outside while we was gone all weekend. So I went to the post office. They was at the post office. And I said, ma'am, I said, I got a package here I need to pick up, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. She looks, I don't show a package here for you. I said, well, it shows here. I've been tracking it. She said, oh, is it an Amazon? I said, yeah. She said, well, you can get it, but you're going to pay like $35 to get it. Like, ma'am? Oh, no, you have to pay us like $35 if you want it. Otherwise, you got to wait till we deliver it tomorrow. What? Yes, sir. I said, it's got to be something, because for them to ship it all the way to UPS and then UPS to ship it down, it's got to be something about when it's delivered to your doors is of a percentage of what they're getting paid.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of like others have said here, the people that bring it now, they're like a Uber or something, like Jennifer said. Like they're a whole independent, a whole nother thing. You know, it's not even Amazon. They don't even have anything. Like I know the people, they're just like doing it as a second job type of deal. You know, it all comes into one central place, and like they're signed on to do it, and they go there and they're like, okay, here's your 20 packages, you go deliver, you know. And it doesn't make no sense. Like they don't have a certain route or anything, you know.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what she says here. You know, like I was buying go-kart bodies. You know, we go-kart racing down here. So I set up a little business deal and I was selling stuff. I could order bodies and get a box of 4 bodies shipped here for $50 to ship one body. I mean, 4 bodies. Or if somebody was to order a body from them, it would cost $50. But for me, yeah, but for me to get a box of 4 bodies here shipped for $50, for me to turn around and ship that body out to somebody, because I had people buying them online, it was
Yeah.
$100 to $125 for me
Wow.
to ship it. So yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Dana, so what we did, I mean, if you watched the video, Dana, we went to the Dolly Parton Stampede. We went to the Tractor and Car Museum.
Yep.
I wish you would have told us that you were in Branson. We would have figured out a way to come there. But there's a lot of cool stuff to do there. Most of those shows are pretty good. Dolly Parton Stampede's pretty good.
That's right.
Go to Sight and Sound Theater. You'll enjoy it. No matter what's playing. If it's Ruth or whatever it's playing, it'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shepherd of the Hills is really good too. To go watch.
They're just regular people in their own vehicles. It's the same person. I got you.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do some of that stuff here. I mean, you know, down here where we're at, you know, we're just a little small area, but we're just getting Uber Eats or, you know, people that's working for them people. Just
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats, or yeah, where if you want something to eat, just say McDonald's. And I don't know how it works because of course I've never done it, but you go on, there's an app and you place your order with say McDonald's or a pizza place or whatever, and then you say you want Uber Eats, or there's a couple places around, and they'll go get it for you. And I don't know how they make money because somehow the Uber people pays them, they make a little bit off of that, but then you get tips as well. So I don't know how that works, but yeah. Let's see here. Where am I? I got lost here in my
I guess that's what Shayla and her parents do. Is what we're talking
Is that what that meant? I read that what Dakotas. I guess it's what. Okay, I got you.
And then Evelyn's saying that her postmaster told her pirate ship is the way to go. My postmaster was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but we're not going to ship it. I'm like,
oh, gotcha.
That's not what they told me.
I'm just behind, Dakota. I go talking and I quit looking at the chat over here.
Wait. That means you might be like Dakota, from what I understand.
I do, because Dakota will start doing the same thing. You know, we was earlier. I was commenting. He had asked me a question, and I'd commented on it. And I looked. I said, "Golly!" I said, "I got to get over and I wanted to come make sure everything was good here in Restream before I started my live." So I said in there, I said, "All right, guys, I'm out of here. Gotta go check Restream, whatever." But he had never got to my comment yet. I'll get better at it. Trade my post troll midday. Yeah. I'll have to check on Pirate Ship. I don't know. What is that through?
It's just you go to www.pirateship.com.
Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about, Lisa and Jesse.
Yeah.
People pull up in their personal vehicle, all this. Look, I hate our shipping people here, and there's nothing you can do about it. We have dogs, and I'm telling you, we have some of these delivery folks. We're not going to discuss what all they are, but they will literally, when they pull up here, if my dogs come out, they turn their trucks around in my yard. They'll back up to my carport, open the back door, throw the package, and leave. I've got cameras. I've got cameras out here when you can see it. I'm telling you, but it don't matter. The union protects all them people with that, you know. No.
Yeah, I know what it is. I was just teasing about Uber Eats and DoorDash, and it's just one of them
Well, that-
things when you're out in the country, you just don't think about.
Well,
Like,
and we've had it. I mean, I've knew about it. I mean, like in Monroe, they've had it for years and stuff over there. But here where we're at, it's just kind of taking off. And I don't think that it's Uber Eats. Matter of fact, one person here, one lady, we've talked to her. It seems like we see here everywhere we go, whether it's getting food. She started her own business doing it. She somehow she's give these people her number, so they call her direct and they make their orders. So she goes to Walmart for them because now everybody here is doing that. Walmart does their customer pickup. Dollar Generals, the Tractor Supplies. So now people just call her and they never leave their houses.
I don't get it. Like, I don't. I mean, I'd hate to pay the bill to get fast food delivered here. It's 30 miles to the closest fast food.
Yeah.
Have it like DoorDashed or whatever.
But
That's
I'm
like
telling
people
you,
who are
you
like,
would probably be
I just had a
surprised.
pizza delivered. I'm like, how did you have a pizza delivered? Like,
But in that case, though, Dakota, I mean, they probably pay them. I'm sure being Amazon, they probably get pretty good. I would think. I mean,
that is cheap.
she
Dana
said,
says that she can pay $3 to have Tim's medicine delivered from Walgreens plus the tip. That is cheap.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, she's a personal shopper. Yeah, it's a bunch of people doing that. Yeah, and maybe it's more money. I just can't see that it's that much money to because you're still, man, which gas is going down, but man, still as expensive as some of that stuff is, I just don't see how you're making enough money. It almost looks like you would use up all your profit.
Tony. That's right, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, nice you join us there, Mr. Chris. Tony's been in and out on us. Oh, hang on. Do I have? I do have. Man, that's the only thing about this.
You're
I
just
don't
not
see
paying
that
attention, man. You don't know where to look.
Yeah, I know. That's it. I just I gotta get used to it. How you, Chris?
Hi, Chris.
I'm doing well. How are you, and Mr. Dale? How are you, sir?
Good.
It's always great to see you guys. I try to be sociable to Paul, but I always get a story.
Oh,
I think my cold medicine's starting to kick in. My eyes are starting to get kind of heavy.
Uh-oh.
It might be this after 11 o'clock. It might be getting some of it.
It could be.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed it, Trey, but Dakota's in here making fun. Or Shayla. It might be Shayla because it's capitalized right of saying McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I seen that. What are you supposed to call it? What is it?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Well, then it's MIC.
No, it's McDo.
McDonald's. It's McDonald's.
I was going to say,
it's always been.
Then I should get stock in it because my mother's her name was MacDonald. I should get royalties.
Yeah, but McDonald down here is spelled MC, but it's all one word. McDonald, as far as the last name for somebody, is MC.
But that's like, okay, you go to the big box store that starts with the W. Where are you going?
Do what now?
Wally World.
You go into the big box store that starts with the W.
Walmart.
Okay, you don't make it plural like a lot of people. We're going down to the Walmarts.
No.
Is there more than one Walmart right there?
No, I'm a Walmart. I'm a Walmart person.
Or there's a Mexican food restaurant in a bigger town by us. Actually, a couple of the towns around us have this, and it's El Charro. Well, in Spanish, that means the cowboy. So they go, we're going to go eat at El Charros. The Cowboys? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's not plural. It's El Charro.
Amy,
You know?
we didn't even know you wasn't in here. You've been gone for so long. I guess Chris
Oh,
probably got tired of
Amy,
hearing us
I'm
snoring.
falling asleep.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Wait till tomorrow night, though. She'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow night. Oh, tell Lisa to look at her phone. Lisa
Well,
is 10 toes up right now.
I would guarantee you, my wife is turned into a pumpkin about an hour. You know, literally no more than the live got over from digging in the word. It was bedtime, you know.
Well, I'm lucky the coffee's kicked in, so I'm like, woohoo!
Coffee has the exact opposite effect to me. I've had like 4 cups, and now it's like, ooh, I'm like relaxed now.
Look, Jennifer is even still here, Amy, and I know you can hear me because you still got it playing. You just may not be talking. Jennifer is still here. We were talking about shipping, and I'm telling you, Jennifer has been spot on. She's been active. I'm talking about she's all at it.
She's in it
Jennifer's
now.
on point right now.
Bowen's just been over here coloring the whole time.
Oh, so Chris, you said y'all got 3.5 inches of rain is what y'all got so far?
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess it's probably done come through there though, huh? Is it
Yeah.
gone?
I stayed
Yeah.
up because the threat of tornadoes, because there were
Yeah.
6 tornadoes that were reported in southwest Oklahoma.
No kidding.
Yes, sir. You know, and because me being a member of Skywarn and all that jazz and a ham radio operator, et cetera, I stayed up because I've got friends, family, and and all that, and grandkids that live in areas. So I'm sitting there, sending out weather bulletins. If you looked at my Facebook page, you'd see I blow it up with radar loops.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Well, the way the wind's blowing here, you would think that like we were, I mean, the wind hasn't blew at all. And all of a sudden at about 5 o'clock, the wind started picking up, and it was just a sustained 26 to 30 mile an hour.
Yes, sir. According to my weather station here at my house, it was the highest was 26. So
yeah,
I was trying to get down to Trey so he could, get rain because he, doesn't have enough mud puddles yet.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, you just don't send any to him. He don't need no more rain. Keep sending it up to us. We need it up here.
Just fixing to get dry enough where I could do something. I need to start putting some post in the ground.
Hey, we got like 300 acres of soybeans that need to be cut, buddy. But
we still got cotton. We don't, but there's still plenty of cotton and some soybeans around here.
I've seen some cotton in western Kansas that needed to be picked, and I'm like, you might want to be getting on that because you're like getting to the time of the year, snow will be flying here pretty quick.
Now, we don't have to worry about that, but the problem we get down here is a lot of our stuff is like you see in my videos, how wet, nasty it gets. It'll get to where I'm telling you, it will go from where it's bone dry to when it starts in doing like it's doing now. You'll take a combine or a cotton picker, and you got to get it gets real expensive quick, because if you're not tearing up stuff on the equipment, getting it out, you're tearing up your crops so bad it's fixing to cost you double in fuel.
When I was a parts guy for combines and tractors, I was always like, combines especially, I'm like praying for a wet harvest, because if it was a wet harvest, you were going to sell some combine parts, because if it was a dry harvest, you hardly seen anybody because nothing really breaks. But if it's wet, everything breaks down,
Yeah. Look, it was so bad, Dale. At Panola Farms here this has been probably 17, 18 years ago. Whenever it used to be big time cotton in this country, it got one of those wet years, and they had the 4 row John Deere when they had 4 before the 6 row. So it may have been 20 years ago, whatever. But anyway, they had dozers, and they would take and push those cotton pickers through the fields and spin them around the end and push them back. And I'm telling you, they tore hydrostats up. They had hydrostats sitting out there by the truckload, just waiting to go in.
So when are you going to start talking about 454s with a dual Holley carburetor and Edelbrock manifold, and
Well, here's the problem with that, Chris. That's a Chevrolet.
Well, I was going to tell you something since you own one, Trey. If I'm correct, if not, tell me. But I used to have an FORD. I can't say it. It goes against against my verbiage.
It just rolls off. It's just forward. It just rolls right off your tongue.
And it was a FORD Ranger, and I had to go get a part for it. I went to their house, their parts store, and they said, "Oh, you can go over here to the Mazda store and get it cheaper because Mazda and FORD parts are interchangeable."
They did. I don't remember I'm not good with all the dates on this newer. I say newer stuff. You get in the 90s, but they did. I think Ford bought Mazda. And you can look at the vehicles and you can tell by the body change. Matter of fact, the truck that I have, it's an 09, which is getting close to the end of when they was actually making the little Rangers. And it's got the plastic front bumpers and stuff. Those was after they bought Mazda. And Mazda basically went to building the trucks for them. Yeah. So it is.
That's when the engine was 4.0. With the timing chain on one head on the front of the engine and the timing chain on the back of the other head come into play.
Okay, look, Karma, we have had I don't know what we're getting. Let me tell you, from what this is sounding like, we have got a lot of rain in about the last hour and a half, but we've had 10 inches in about the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know exactly, but yeah, we have plenty of rain. Oh Lord, here's Jennifer. We went talking about 454s and Ford Rangers, and she's ready to go to sleep on us.
Well, then it means we need to talk about unicorns and sparkly, glittery stuff again.
Bring up UPS.
Well, I mean that would be a conversation that a typical Chevrolet owner would know about.
Well,
my
favorite truck I've ever owned was a GMC half-ton Sierra. And, I drove that after I got out of the military all the way from Seattle, Washington, all the way to Fort Worth, Texas in 3 days.
Yeah. Square body or post square body?
Square body.
Look, the square bodies, I had a buddy of mine. The transmissions, it was an 80. I don't remember the exact year model he is. But anyway, the transmissions was so bad in them old Chevy square bodies, he just about would keep a spare one in the bed of his truck because they could change it on the side of the road and get back going.
And then he would have to roll down his window and reach out and open the door and then leave the window down so he could pick up on the door and shut the door.
Yeah. Not well.
And if he opened the hood,
was up in the hood late 80s,
when he went
early
to shut
90s,
it, it may fold in half when he shut it,
Yeah.
Do you remember the show Fall Guy?
Do what?
Huh? Remember the TV show Fall Guy?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And the TV show Fall Guy came out in the 80s. And basically he had a pickup 4-wheel drive, which mine was, and I wanted to basically build my truck just like his. because I really enjoyed the truck.
I don't know where I went wrong. Like, I tried to teach my kids like right and wrong, but my oldest son, he just got like, it must have went wrong with his mom and her family and like my mom and dad, that like he's dyed in the wool bow tie. And like we're driving down the road together and he's like, there's this old like rotted out square body sitting behind these people's fence row. And he's like, there's just something cool and nostalgic about that square body. I said, yeah, to a crusher. Like, you take the 350 4-bolt main out of it. I don't want nothing else to do with it. Like,
Well, Trey, right now you've got rain pretty heavy, but no severe, and it's 64 degrees in your little town.
Has it done cooled off that much in, huh? Because it, like I said, it was 72 when I was on Dakota's live earlier, and then whenever we took, what are you showing it to be? 60 what?
64 with a real feel of 59. Winds are out of the northwest at 9. Wind gusts up to 15.
And see, we're showing right now our this is our local weather channel that's on here, and it's showing right now it's 67, and it says feels like 67. That's what our local is showing. Now, you take that with a grain of salt when you get to our local.
Well, I'm going off of what your mailing address is on your thing. That's what I looked up, and
I got you.
pulled it up.
Yeah.
we excuse me.
Cough it up, Dale. Cough it up.
I know. This dang cold is kicking my hind end.
Ford was the original automotive that Mazda uses. Okay. Look at that. There's Tony.
Tony's a Ford man.
Yep.
Listen, I don't care what it is. There's good and bad in all of them. And that's the one argument that, like, as long as we keep it civil, I will just have fun.
Well, look, here's the deal. I'll tell you some of the good and bad with both of them. So when you get to the Ford, the old Fords, 351 Windsors, 302s, 289s, all that. The problem with them, they had too soft of a seat in the heads. So it would beat the seat out the heads. The Chevy, because they have the two exhaust valves side by side in the middle of the head, it gets so hot. They're super bad about warping or cracking the heads.
Yep.
So I mean, both of them's got their, it's 302 is bad about breaking the piston skirts off. They all do. They've all got good and bad, whatever. But we joke and carry on right here about Ford and Chevy. But there's way more Chevy people than Ford. Like, we go dirt track racing, we would pull up there, and I promise you, it would be 115 Chevys there and maybe 5 Fords.
Well, one reason why, and this is, I mean, I could throw rocks at my own favorite brand. You can build a 350 Chevy. You used to be able to.
Used to
be able to for $100 bill.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it would cost you $500 to build a 351. Like, it was ridiculous. Now they've kind of both leveled out with each other, but it's like, that was always the problem I had was, and that's why when you'd go to a dirt track race or something like that, there'd be all these Chevys because it was cheap to overhaul them.
You're exactly right. And I mean, they could find parts in every junkyard for them.
And I'm going to tell you, the dirt track to the west of us, because I used to really be in the dirt track deal. There was this family, and they had an engine builder that was awesome at building Ford engines, and they would blow everybody off the track with those Fords.
Well, look, here's the thing: when we would go, we'd build our Fords. Man, we would cheat up some Ford motors, but nobody would know. you would get there to the tech shed because everybody knows Chevy. Look, when we started running, when you really build some horsepower, you could take what they call, it's a Cleveland head, 351 Cleveland, but it's a Australian Cleveland head.
Yep.
So it had the chambers was like, say, like a closed chamber 289. So real tight chamber. Well, Dad, they figured out how to make those big heads fit on 302s, 351 Ranger blocks. And they called the Clevors or something like that. But anyway, people would get there, we'd pull the hood off that thing for tech, and they thought it was a 351 Cleveland or a 351 EM. They had no idea that what they was looking at, you know. I mean,
but by golly, they knew where to look on that Chevy for that double hump head that come off the 305 that you put on that 350.
And block. Man, them old Australian heads, you couldn't find them. It was hard to find. And it was off of motors. It was like built in Australia. I mean, it's what it was, but just specific. And man, them things would make one of them motors turn inside out. You had to get,
Sean, that combination you're talking about right there, I'm in. 377 with a 350 turbo. Yeah, put that in my F-150, the old body style. I'm in.
Hey, Dale.
Yo.
Have you ever tried it's a homeopathic medicine. It's called Zicam.
No.
It's Zicam. When I start feeling like I'm getting either a sinus infection or a cold or whatever, I'll take, it's like you put it in your mouth and you don't chew it up. You just let it dissolve, and it helps me a lot.
Yeah. Might have to look into that.
But I mean, I think what I can do is maybe send you a picture of it or whatever. And just so you can look at it and see what you think. I mean, I just know I can hear you don't sound all that grand, but
and here's the deal. I don't feel bad at all. I just don't sound good. And my nose is running, which is making me cough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, there's a big thing going around with the pneumonia.
Really?
Yes, sir. So,
Tony, the problem with the 347 was an oiling problem. So that 347 was pretty stout. Well, we was building a lot of people that run around here, and we built either the 332 or the 331. And it all come down to your gap, your oil gap that's more Daddy's thing, but it's something about the piston and the oil gap and the ring gap and everything that the 347 couldn't handle a long time. You'd get using oil sometimes on some of them.
Yeah.
But the 332 and 331 horsepower wise was just right there. So, but yeah, at 347, I've
heard of it. I've heard of Zicam, Chris. I just didn't know what it was.
Oh, okay. So I don't need to send it to you?
No, I can look in. I'm going to look into it because
if you were close enough, I'd bring you some because I've got it. Okay. But you're kind of, I think, 2 or 3 hours away from me?
At least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it always gets to like this time of night is when I start. It's time to just call it a night and go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yep. It goes to getting on you at night, and you wake up in the morning and
with a
sore throat and whatever.
And about 6 cups. Well, I can't call it cups of coffee because my coffee cup at work is 24 ounces, and I drink 4 to 5 of those before noon. So,
all right, Joe. Hey, appreciate it, man.
Hey, Joe. Night.
Good night, Joe.
Yeah. I just got through Tony, because Tony always messed with me. Not about eating some ice cream. I still got some homemade ice cream. I still got to eat some more in here before I go to bed. Jessica left it out for me. I mean, I hadn't had no homemade ice cream all week.
Dang you.
I mean, it's Monday. I hadn't had any all week. Yeah, I never heard of that Zycam before.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
I mean, you can always do, the honey and, all that stuff, but, it's whatever you got. It's all I can say is, Dale, don't let it get down into your lungs, because that'll take weeks to get that out of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm usually due for one of those like that. Because of course I'm a typical, as my wife says, I'm a typical man. I won't do nothing about it and just suffer through it until it's either
That's me.
get
I
over it or
normally
get too
go
bad.
into you get to the point where you're about on your deathbed before you decide to go.
Yep.
And then you go and they'll give you a round of shots, and you'll leave there and wake up the next morning like, man, I should have done this weeks ago.
Grape ice cream.
Yeah,
So, Trey, do you have Nutri-Rats up there by you?
I do. We dispose of them as we see them.
Have
So
you
we've
ate
had
any
them-
of them?
No, I never have. People do, but I never have.
They say they're good eating.
I normally, though, when I dispose of them, they're normally swimming in water, and
They drowned.
they just sink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do y'all have grape ice cream? I ain't got no grape ice cream. Yeah, but I had one Nutri-Rat had got in and dug a hole from my pond over to my canal, and you can see in my videos, if you watch that canal that's back here and that pond, they used to be closer together before it filled part of the pond in, and they dug all the way through basically, and you couldn't get the pond to hold water above that hole.
Really?
It would just run out in the canal. Yeah. Yep.
You know, growing up, I was a trapper, and I trapped a lot of muskrats in the day. But we don't have Nutris up here. That Nutri-Rat deal come from, the fur industry. They escaped and turned into a nuisance.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Asian carp deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a nuisance animal too. I seen somebody the other day posted that they've been hatching their own bait, to use. And they got to noticing these minnows that they hatched, and some of the eggs they received, shipped to them, that they looked weird. And they really got to looking, and it was snakehead fry. And everybody was like, "Oh, do not use that." But
Dang. We're doing good. Doing good.
doing good.
We've had a really good live tonight. Hey, and speaking of, not trying to change the subject in the situation, we'll be doing, which is going to take me a couple weeks to get everything together, but I should be able to monetize maybe Wednesday. If they don't take too many numbers away from me, like YouTube, it seems like I went to getting real close and they start taking a lot away. You get, and they take a lot away. It's like they're trying to keep you from getting there. But anyway,
that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I may hopefully, if all the numbers hit and they don't take too many, I should be able to start my monetization stuff Wednesday. Now I don't know how long that takes. None of that, but once we do that, we're going to have another giveaway.
It's kind of a process, but
Yeah.
you can handle it.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, I've got the 3,000 stuff done, for the 3,000 watch hours. So, but I think
Well, it'll be
once they
easy
go through
transition then.
yeah. I think they go, they have to send you a letter or do something to verify your address or do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not monetized now. I've got the 3,000 watch hours, which allows me to be able to offer memberships and set up a store like we was talking about earlier and stuff like that. So, but I'm not a fully monetized. I guess you could say I'm a partial monetized.
Yeah.
You're an
But
L.
yeah, I can get
You're-
super chats, and you can get super chats and super stickers when you get to the 3,000 watch hours. But I'm sorry. What, Chris?
I was going to say you're LSU monetized.
Right now, it's
Ooh.
LS who?
I wasn't gonna breach that subject because that's probably as raw as us K-State fans after this
Look,
last
I'm
weekend.
gonna tell you, it's real aggravating to me because I'm I guess I don't know if you call it a realist or what, but I understand the process of things, and nothing aggravates me more. And it's not just LSU; it's every fan base out there now. Everybody wants results now
Yep.
or yesterday, And in the case of we had Ed Orgeron in there, he come in that first year that he got Joe Burrow, and man, they took everything by storm. He had a super team. I mean, the majority of that whole team that year went to the NFL. So then after that, he got his girlfriends and he just let things go. They had no discipline. I mean, they had a crap show there. And then they bring Kelly in there, and he's fixing. I like Kelly. A lot of people don't because he's an older coach, blah blah blah, whatever. But he has respect. All them boys, they respect him. They listen, whatever. But they've had a bad year this year. I mean, they hadn't had great years last few years, but like I told somebody, he has not got yet even to his full recruiting class yet. And they're like, they've been wanting his head since year one. This is year 3.
Yeah.
He's got you got to give him time to get because look, every coaching hire he makes his first year or second year it's not going to work out. You got bumps in the road. Not everything's a perfect fit. And who knows? Brian Kelly may not be the fit for LSU, but don't just throw it out there after a year or two or like right now, I mean, he had never lost a night game in Death Valley until 2 weeks ago whenever he played Alabama. And if Tim and Dana's on here, they probably just smirk and laugh, whatever. But
Oh yeah.
Well, that's all right. I got to do
but
this.
it's the truth. hey, we got that last game of the year. Last game
I
of the
know,
year.
I know, and I'm agreeing with you as far as because they're not doing as great, as all the past quarterbacks and all this, and they're talking about getting rid of the coach and just
Yeah.
like probably LSU. I'm sorry, you got to build before you can start
Well,
winning.
he's building something, just like y'all's coach, whatever. It's after this season, he'll have actually be 2 more years from now before he'll have a full team that's his team that he
Well, that's before they put all this stupid.
Well, but
They can
still, you
move
got some
wherever they want to
kids.
move with
Yeah,
no problem.
but it's still though. What I'm saying, it's he's improved a lot of things there, and I just think that you just need. It really aggravates me because now, of course, me being on Facebook, I'm in all these LSU pages, and it just, I'm not one of them outspoken people on there that's gonna bash people for saying what they want, but I'm like, man, y'all just give it a chance. Yeah, we're used to winning. You know, we're used to winning a lot, but look at his record. The man's lost like 5 games in 3 years. I mean,
Yep.
come on. You know, I mean, yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm not that person. You know, lose a game and oh, he's got to go. He's not a perfect fit.
It's like I won't. Everybody, sits there and says, "Oh, Dallas Cowboys is American team." I say, no, they haven't been America's team for decades.
Since the
That's right.
'80s.
I mean, I think it was Dale that said it. Maybe I'm wrong, but he said, Dallas or somebody said that, a tornado will, never touch down in Dallas because or
There's
something
no
like
chance of a touchdown there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, the biggest problem in Dallas is not coaches. It's not really the players.
It's Jerry
The owner.
Jones.
The owner is at some point, yes, you got to be an owner and you got to do owner things. But when you hire a coach or whatever, general man, you're hiring them to get you the best team to coach. When you're undermining them and just say, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this you're never getting the results of what that coach can actually do when you're forcing them to do what you want to do.
Yep.
You know, you ought to see when you've had the same results for however many years it's been now. It's been a long time since they've had a really good team. You know, and you done fired how many coaches and yeah, all fingers point to the right direction if you just look at them.
Well,
That's right.
Is that to go to a Dallas Cowboy game, even the cheap seat that you're sitting way up there in the top, Mile High Stadium, type thing, and you pay for your ticket, you're paying a lot of money. You've got to pay for parking. And then if you've got to go get a drink or get a hot dog or whatever, you're paying for that. It's like I always said, for me to go to a Dallas Cowboy game, I would have to go to the bank and ask for a loan.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous.
And so I have lost interest in the NFL because they have, no matter what the team, I'm not dogging the Cowgirls, but I'll dog the Cowgirls. No matter the team, it's like, what are they teaching our college kids, our high school kids, is that, oh, well, if I do good in football, I can get a $35 million contract. It's not football anymore. It's all about money.
Yeah. Well, it's like in college is a lot of that because look, when a big game come, like what Alabama and LSU is, which that's always a clash. It don't matter if it's at Alabama, at LSU. That's one of the biggest games in the country every year. I mean, that everybody kind of tunes in. People keep up with the Alabama LSU game. It's just become one of them deals. But my daughter, her boyfriend's mama and her and another girl, they went. It cost them to sit up in the highest point at LSU, which is, I'm telling you, I've sit up there before. It's way up there. Looked like ants running around the field. It cost them $1,200 and something for 3
I believe it. And that was probably a year or two ago.
No, that was this year. That was the Alabama game the other day.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That was that. But what I'm telling you is that's you don't. I mean, they way up there. It was $1,200 and something for 3 tickets.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To me, it's like how much. I mean, where I used to live in Texas, in North Texas, Jerry Jones helicopter would be flying all over the place because he's buying more land and, and everything around that area. And I'm like, how much money does this guy got to have?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I did not grow up in money. I grew up that if you wanted something, you earned it or you worked for it or you built it.
Well, and I get it. Some people's brains, some of those guys like that, their brains never stop trying to make more money or
Oh
I
no.
guess it's just the way they're wired, you know. And because you look at it, and I consider myself kind of a go getter, and I try to make money, but at some point, I think I would look up if I was sitting there on, you know, 65-70 million dollars in the bank, you know, and I got at some point, I think I'm gonna kick back and say, you know what, I'm fixing to enjoy life.
Yeah,
Yep.
you would
You
think.
know, I mean, you got that much money. I mean, my kids, and my kids' kids, and maybe my kids' kids' kids. You know, I could set them up with enough stuff through that. You know, but I know maybe that's why I'm not rich. You know, my brain don't work that way. But
I
I
hear
just
you.
don't get it.
Well, guys, I hate to do it, but I'm on a jet. Hey, it's been good and it's been fun.
I hope you get better.
All right, Dale. I appreciate
All
it,
right.
man.
Take care.
We'll talk to you later.
Hey, man.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
But yeah,
Well,
it's
feeling-
I don't know. I some of that stuff just drives me bonkers. I can tell you.
All right, Trey. So teach me something now.
Okay.
All right. So I've got Restream pulled up on, or your thing on my YouTube on my laptop. Okay. But
Okay.
right now it's still showing Dale, and it's got a delay.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I'm using my phone because that's where I got the access to get to it.
Yeah.
So you'll have to teach me sometime on how to get, I guess, or do I Google Restream
Oh
and
no. So if was it an email?
I don't remember. I think it
Well,
was.
all it is. If you open it, um, if you get it, you can send yourself an email and go into your email on your laptop or computer
Okay.
and pull it up there and do the same thing, and it carries you the same way.
Well,
Oh, she's falling after them. I am the same way, Karma. I throttled off of pro football.
yep.
It's just got to be too much of that stuff.
It's
Yeah,
not,
but
it ain't football anymore.
night, Bowen. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, if it's an email, you go, if nothing else, you just have to open it up from your email and it should send it right to it.
I think you texted it to me, is what you did.
May have. I don't remember because I may not have had your email or whatever.
No
I had,
worries. I was just trying to figure because I've got the chat pulled up on my laptop, but I've got this live on my phone. That's the
I
reason.
got you. And like you can like Dale was saying earlier, Dale showed me how to do that because I didn't know. Because like you can't type like right now, which you can't do a lot. I don't know what it looks like on your phone, but like when you're on a laptop with Restream, you can't type in the comments on Restream. So that's why I was telling Dale that was the only thing that I wasn't liking about. Uh-oh,
Hang on.
where did you go?
I'm here.
Um,
I'm here. I just took a snapshot and I was going to try to text it to you what it looks like on my
yeah.
phone.
Oh, I got you. Let me see.
But
What's she supposed
blacked
to
it
say?
out and I was like, oh,
Yep,
okay.
me too. Take it
I'm
and then
learning.
yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah. But like I said, so you can go if you have it pulled up on your laptop or your computer, whatever, you can go over to the YouTube and I think I'd have to go over and go look, but I think it's like 3 dots in the corner.
Okay.
That's if you've got the Restream pulled up on your laptop too. But you can I don't have it pulled up, but you can put I think unpin it. I believe is what it was. I'd have to go click on it and do it, but you can do it and basically move that chat and paste it over where you're at in Restream. So that way you have the comments from YouTube on the screen and you got this running.
All right. Yeah.
But like in StreamYard, anybody, you know, if we was on StreamYard right now, you'd be able to type and see the comments and do everything.
Yeah.
So you can see, well, y'all, if you can't see, oh, you probably can't see the comments on your phone, can you? at
No,
all.
no.
See, the thing is cool. I can do this right here, and
And break,
then say you'll be able to read the comments if I do that.
well, I'd have to have my magnifying.
Right, yeah, on your phone, yeah.
Hang on. Oh, but now I can read them. Hang on, Sonny. I gotta get my magnifying glass.
Yeah. I'll watch the Super Bowl because my son enjoys. Yeah, I mean, I still watch some of it, but here's the deal with like that stuff. I don't go out of my way to watch it. Now, if I'm sitting in the house, whether it be a Sunday or if it's Monday night, Thursday night, whatever, and a game comes on, it's a team I'm interested in, I may sit there and watch it a minute, but it's not one of them deals to where like, oh man, the Saints is playing. I got to make sure I'm here and I'm watching it. I don't, but NASCAR's kind of got that way too. I see Tony's still in here.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go.
Good night there, Tony.
Good night.
But NASCAR has got to be kind of the same way because I feel like with NASCAR they've kind of part of the whole deal of competition is who can find the edge. If you can find a little secret somewhere, whether it be bend this on the metal or do this and whatever, I think you ought to be able to do it. But they've done got it now down to such a science that it's basically like taking a car that's rolling off the showroom floor. All cars is coming from the same spot almost because everything's got to be so exact. And to me, it just takes the fun out of it. It's kind of like all these leaks in football, and it's going down to college and high school. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see nobody get hurt.
No.
But when you start protecting somebody to the sense of you can't even lay your hand on them hardly in the right, I mean, you can't touch if you touch the quarterback, just touch his helmet. That's unsportsmanlike contact. Hands to the whatever. I mean, you got to let the reins loose a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like it's the longest yard where I think I broke his blank neck.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I mean, football a lot. I mean, it was like you had to be tough to play football back in the day.
Oh
now
yeah.
We're like, oh, he touched me.
Yep. Yep. And it's a lot of sports that way. I know we're talking a lot about football or whatever. It's a lot of sports where it's like even basketball. And I don't really watch basketball, nothing, but
Yeah.
you hear them talk about it. It's kind of like the LeBron Jameses and stuff out there. They couldn't have played back when Michael Jordan was playing. I mean, they tried to kill that poor dude. If he tried to go in for a shot, they literally tried to take his head off. And now, I mean, you can't touch them. I mean, it's some type of foul.
Well, that's like Nolan Ryan back when he played for the pitcher for Texas.
It is karma.
And he, had that issue with another team, and it came down to blows, and he, it was like, man, I'm telling you, that was, but the thing, then you go watch a hockey game. Hockey game, boy, when they start fighting and all that jazz, it's like the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I mean, all this stuff with I can't think of the player's name now for San Francisco 49ers. He got on there and showed he had a MAGA hat on, and I mean, so what if he wanted to jump in? It don't matter who he was for. I mean, but they suspended him for like a game or 2 games or 3 games, something like that, for him showing that he had one of them caps on. I'm like, yeah, man.
But then there was one that didn't get up off his knees for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Exactly, but that's okay. That's okay because that's that's so it's yeah.
But I'm right there. I agree. I mean, I'm a veteran. I served my military, and by gosh, I've seen vets who have no legs that when the national anthem plays, they will do everything they can to stand
Oh yeah.
And you've got these players, no matter what sport, that are taking a knee or even in the Olympics, won't do it. And I'm just like, you don't want to live in the country,
Yep.
fine. That's your choice.
Yep.
Why not move to the country that of your choice that you want to support?
Yep. Yep. And look, I'm not against anybody saying anything, whatever, but I mean, just don't be stupid. I just, you hate to get in all of any politics stuff, but it ain't just about politics. Part of the problem in the world with some of this stuff is normal folks, like I'm gonna say us, because we're all on here, whatever, and I don't know how everybody else thinks and feels, but we just put our head down and we get it done, whether it's our job or whatever. You know, some of these other folks, they'll quit their job and go and want to just express themselves and go and uh do a rally or whatever, a protest for weeks at a time. Heck, we can't do that stuff. We got to work.
Well,
And most of us, we don't like stuff happening, but we just keep our mouth shut to an extent. Instead of stirring the pot with these other people, they want the attention and they just puke it out there. You know.
and at the same time, I guarantee you that anybody per se on this channel, or you or me or whatever, no matter what their belief or what political side that they're on, if somebody
Yeah.
needed help, they had a flat tire or whatever, we
Yeah.
would be the first to stop.
Yeah.
To say, how can I help?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it. But I mean, like I said, these other people, but that's also the other part of the world. These people that's saying all this stuff. Well, no matter what it's about, we're not going to talk about
Yeah.
the reasons. But other people, they're like, we just want to calm them down. So then they start kind of bowing down to them. It's, oh yeah, that's not right. Whether they feel like that or not, they give in to that, which then just creates and magnifies the problem. And that's why you have it to where you got a handful of people in this country who think that girls should be able to do the same thing as boys, and now it's been allowed against 99% of the country being against it, but that 1% is getting what they want
Yep.
because
And I
we
want to talk about the changes of certain people
yeah,
changing themselves. I'll just leave it at that.
yeah,
I mean, to me, that's against you know that's all against what God is wanting to do or has
yeah.
done.
And like I said, it's all everybody's business,
Yeah.
and that's, like I said, I don't want to get too deep in it because I don't want to ruffle no feathers or get myself in trouble on YouTube. And
Well, that's why I'm
you-
trying to be
yeah, yeah,
careful.
I know, but but it is, it's a dang if you do, dang if you don't. I mean, the people that the majority of the people that makes this world go around, they just get down and dig and do their job.
Yeah.
And the ones that don't, the ones that are being a lot of them that's being supported by the ones that's doing the work, they're the ones that's getting their way with everything. Because while everybody else is out doing what they got to do, they're just able to stir the pot.
Yeah.
So,
But at the same time, I feel that there needs to be some changes because
yeah,
men's sports needs to be women's sports.
yeah,
Men's sports need to be men's sports,
yeah, yeah.
because it's getting to the point where there's too
It
much
exactly is. Yeah,
going
yeah,
on and too many people getting hurt.
yeah, yeah. It is. So I don't know. It's done trickled down into to all the high school stuff and
Oh, it's
down. It's everywhere. Look, I come through playing ball. We didn't have now. They'll have for the first half of the season at these high school football games, or I don't know about everywhere, but here in Louisiana, they have like 2 or 3 times a half, the refs will call a water break in the early part of the season when it's so hot.
Oh.
You know, they just stop. Oh no, we play ball.
Yeah. So I looked up, to change the subject, I looked up that company that you recommended for stickers. So towards the end of the month, I'll probably order me a, I don't know, 250 or whatever.
Yeah, mine are right here. This is like I said, they're not the like super best quality, but I mean, as far as the looks, everything's good. They're not a super thick sticker, you know. But if you want stickers to be able to do and share, it's a really
It's a good start.
cheap. Yes, exactly. I think I've done 500 or 800 of them. So and now everything I ship out now will have one. You know.
And you did 2x2, right?
I think mine actually the invoice. I don't know if I have the invoice in here. I think it ended up being 2.5 by 2.5, and I was really wanting it to be a little bit bigger.
Because it gave you the option of 2x2 or 3x3.
Yeah, well, 2 by 2 maybe what I went with, and it just worked out to be like 2.5 by 2.5. But either way, I mean, you could do 3 by 3, and 3 by 3 is not going to be too big.
Yeah. I mean, I
I mean,
don't know. It's 5x5 or 6x6. I mean,
yeah,
I'd be limited to a lesser amount.
yeah,
But
yeah.
because I'm trying to get at least something up to where what is not 10, is it 10 Killer?
Yeah, 10 Killer is the next one. Well, I think 10 Killer is the next one. It's in Oklahoma.
In April?
Yeah, I believe so. I
Okay.
believe so.
I'm doing my darndest, because with the thanks of Miss Evelyn Newman, who, I mean, she was great on helping on that. That one I'm going to try to make, and
Yeah.
I'm wanting to have my stickers, so at least I've got something.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, we did not know that it was, and like I've only ever been to one meetup, so I didn't know how it was supposed to go. So we luckily had got some shirts made, but I don't think I got but like I had more shirts made, but they didn't have but like 15 of them ready before we got to go. And I had ordered stickers, and I had these caps ordered. These caps took like over a month, I think a month and a half,
Yeah.
maybe 2 months to get these caps. And the stickers, where I'd ordered the stickers, the guy just like ghosted me. Luckily, I'd never paid him or anything, but he was going to charge me like $2 a sticker.
Dang.
So this is way cheaper. I got these I think I got 500 stickers for, I want to say like 80 something dollars, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Karma says that Amazon does stickers. I mean, there's lots of people that does that stuff. You just got to kind of go out there and shop it around. And it is one of them things. In the case of that you get what you pay for in some of that stuff. And like I said, these stickers aren't bad. I mean, I may turn and do them again. Just because they're 80 something dollars for that many stickers. I mean, if I were to buy that many stickers, sure, the ones that my guy was going to do me was going to be way better quality, but I couldn't have got 40 stickers for what these cost.
Yeah.
So in
the price of everything.
Yeah, but like I said, these caps, I haven't even done like the math. We was talking about what these caps were. But let me see here. See, these caps cost me 1676 a cap. It's what they cost me. And so all the ones that I've sent people that's won them in these giveaways or whatever, I've basically got $27, $27 to $28 in a cap.
And that's including, is that including, that's not including, yeah, that is including.
That's including the freight that it took me. Like I said, the most expensive I've done at Bowen won. I think we done a giveaway here a while back, and Bowen won one in that last giveaway. And Bowen was the most expensive cap I've had to ship, and it was $11 and something in that box. But everybody else has been in the $10, 10 something.
Doing UPS. Have you ever?
I haven't checked at UPS, but I was just assuming that UPS may be more expensive. But I might need to check UPS and them and just try it and see.
I mean, it can't hurt to price check it and see,
Yeah.
because you know, and
yeah, because like I said, I mean, you'd have to charge somebody $28 pretty much to make an even call for a cap and make 20 something cents.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not doing the merch stuff for any to make money. I'm not trying to make money with any of it, but you don't want to go completely in the hole.
True. The reason why I asked you that question earlier was because, like, we'll say like on Amy's, just because I know you got it. You go look on her site and it's got, all of her merch down there, and you can buy it. I don't know where it comes from, if it comes from her.
Yeah, I think they use the same one we was talking about earlier. I can't Barnyard or whatever it was. But I think Bonfire. Yeah. And I think that's what they do, but and I don't think they make but just a couple of dollars is what they make on the shirt. So Bonfire's making some money on them, I'm sure. But Bonfire's handling the shipping. They're shipping them, which I'm sure is they're a big company, so therefore they're getting a big break on shipping stuff.
It's probably better. I thought it was Bougie. Was it Bonfire or Bougie?
No, it's Bonfire. We call it's bougie. It's bougie stuff being shipped through Bonfire there.
I was just going to say he's listening.
Well, I was supposed to say we'll see. She may pop on here in a minute. Yeah. But I need to shop around. It's one of them deals, like in my case, I stay so busy that on some of the days, like when I get a rainy day, I just want to just chill.
Yeah,
and that's the days I need to be running and checking prices on stuff at UPS and everything else. But man, I got so much I need to do and get done. It's crazy.
Why don't you get Crystal to help?
Well, Crystal would, but she's same way. She's got younger. She only got one kid at home still, my nephew. But
it can't hurt to ask to see if she'd be interested to help part time or whatever.
Yeah. Heck, I got to pay her. Heck, I'm already going in the hole on it.
Well, no, you what? Pay her. That's family.
Yeah, she's been helping me. Cause see, I signed up in the Amazon thing. I was trying to get me an Amazon store.
Yeah.
But they didn't accept me. So I'm figuring I have to be completely monetized before they will accept me. See maybe the video about shipping and how. Okay. Good deal, Karma. But yeah. Well, I was saying I went completely blank. Right, I went to reading her deal and I completely had a brain fart.
It's all right.
But,
we were talking about Crystal and how she's been helping and all, if I remember right.
Oh yeah, well the Amazon. So what I've been doing is I have to get so many sales on Amazon and stuff like that. So Crystal, she's been sending me anytime she needs something on Amazon, she sends it to me and I put a link and I tag it in a video. And then if she goes in and buys it, I get a small kickback.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, let me tell you, I don't know if it's even worth it now. Maybe if you had an Amazon store, but I think it has been almost $900 worth of stuff bought through my Amazon links, and I think I have made $29. And with Amazon, it's just like YouTube. You don't get anything until you make at least $100. and they only send it once a month. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Set up a wish list. I did. I do have a wish list set up, but I think I don't know if I have it posted right, Karma. I gotta have time to sit down and do that stuff. Y'all don't realize when y'all get a video that comes out that y'all watch, I literally sit down that night. I have to make myself. I may be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning getting that video edited and getting it set out to come out that morning.
Speaking of video, how's my favorite cow?
She's doing good. She's doing good.
I always will keep bugging you. Hey, where's that video? Because she cracks me up.
Man, if you
Showing
could
you,
just see
she's
how
showing you
rough,
love.
huh?
I say she's showing you love in her own way.
She's something. I have 2 of them. I have Brownie. I haven't showed much of Brownie, the one we call Brownie. She's good. She's not quite like that. She's just about the perfect. You can rub on her, you can pet on her. You just can't rub everywhere on her, you know. But Bunny, I'm telling you, Bunny is an absolute nuisance because
No,
you can't run her away. I mean, she comes to you. The
I'm.
other day, I was trying to close out a video, and she come over there, and I was ignoring her, and then she hooked me.
She was
Yeah,
trying to say, "Hey, I'm here."
yeah,
I'm waiting for her to come over to you, and she wants to lay in your lap.
yeah, yeah. The wish list, Beth, is pretty easy to make. You can go in and do that in Amazon. Oh, you can. I'd have to go in and do it to tell you, but there's a spot you can hit add to list, and you can name it your wish list.
Yep.
So that's easy, but it's getting it all linked up and moved over and all that stuff. But yeah, yeah. Karma. I know everybody keeps commenting, telling me everybody needs a bunny. And I don't know. She's I'm here's the deal. Once if me and her can come to an understanding, she will be good. She'll be good to have around because she'll be one of them cows that I can lead her anywhere and the other cows will follow. She's one that can make the rest of the cows easier to handle. But the problem is right now, I think the other cows are so jealous of her. She's like the outcast of the herd right now.
Oh my God, cow
So,
drama! I love
so,
it.
so like I walked back there today and I drove back there today. I looked, all the cows were laying down inside one fence. And I look and there's Bunny. She's all the way around in another fence, standing up. She's looking at me. Anytime she sees my truck or she sees me, she goes to bellowing. I mean, I'm telling you, she thinks she ought to every time you think about it, or she thinks about it, you should come feed her. So
That cracks me up. I can just see, that the live from Trey, cow drama.
well if it will ever dry up enough, we're gonna try live from the cow pasture. And if it works good enough, I may try to set up a live back there with them one day with the cows. Um, but I'm gonna do a live if it'll work in preg check. And I said I was gonna do it last Wednesday, but it's been so wet
Yeah.
that it just I mean, and then it's pouring. Well, I think it's gone now. I don't hear it no more anyway. I still hear some thunder in the distance, but um
The I mean, there's those. It doesn't matter if it's a dog or a horse
hey
or a
Laura,
cat.
thank you.
They express their, and they show a lot of different sides.
Yep, yep,
But I
yeah.
think she got a crush on you.
Oh, it is, it is weird because it's one of those deals most like with the cow herd. So most time you bring a new cow and you introduce it into the herd, everybody's gonna boss that cow around. Everybody's got to
Yep.
kind of get their pecking order, work everything out. Bunny and it's just different. Good night, Lori. Um,
All right, Lori.
it's like she's been out here now for I guess it's been probably around a month, or over a month, maybe closer to 2 months. I have to go back and look exactly when I bought her. But I'm telling you, they steal every cow. Not quite as bad. They will let her eat with them, but I'm telling you, they will whoop her down. They don't let her be a part of nothing hardly. That's what somebody said. Maybe they're just jealous because they see her the way she is with you. Like, yeah, that's it.
How
But I'm telling you, today, I mean, she was
long
in a
have you
whole.
had this romantic affair with Bunny?
Yeah. Let me tell you that I'm telling you,
You talk
Me and Bunny has a love-hate relationship at times. Because I mean, I fool with them. I mean, almost every day. Unless I'm working days. When I'm working days, it makes it hard now. This time change. But other than that, I fool with them every day.
yeah,
But I'm telling you,
you might as well work deep nights because you get up in the morning, it's dark. You
yeah,
come home, it's dark. You might
it's
as well
dark.
work nights.
Yep. And look, I hit her. I hit her yesterday. She wouldn't move. I run over with my mirror on my truck. It bent my mirror in against my truck, which it didn't hurt nothing. I just popped it back out. She just wants to stand there. I can't. I can go in there to go feed everybody else, and she knows there's feeding back in my truck. You'll turn around and look. She's got her head over in the truck, eating out the truck, out the bag.
You, you know that she's just showing how much she cares for you.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll call it that.
See, that's what you need to do. Is we need to get you a shirt that says have a picture of Bunny on it and says Trey's other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
You know, I'm
man.
giving you a hard time, brother. I mean,
Oh, hey, that's all good. Hey, look, I wish I'd have something like it, like a bunny that would take off, and that'd be a selling point of something. It'd be something you could put on a shirt or something. A bunny.
well, that's
Yeah,
what Amy's got. Diesel.
yep, yep, yep.
I I can't think of the Tony's pig's name for her, but he always goes over, and when he goes over there, she will come over and he's sitting there rubbing on.
Oh yeah.
Got
Well,
that.
Johnny's got Danny the bull.
Oh, I was going to say Johnny's got his car,
Yeah, well, he's got that too.
and Paul Case has got his lumber.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So I guess I
got a,
got I got my bunny.
you got a bunny. I can see it now. You instead of putting our Louisiana life over your entrance gate, you need to put Bunny's Farm.
Oh yeah, the home of the bunny, home of Bunny.
Well, up there,
Oh god.
or down there where I lived in North Texas, it was horse country,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they have these big, huge signs out in front of their main gate that whatever the horse's name was is you know plastered, and then like champion and all this stuff.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I said Johnny's got Danny. And let me tell you, I've got uh Ruth Trey's other woman, Bunny. What a
Oh,
name.
I love it.
So we have our bull. My wife named him. We got him Rufus. And I have caused so much slack over that because I had no idea that there was another bull on social media named Rufus. So apparently he's on TikTok, I think. Is where he's at, and I think he may have some. But man, I've had so many people like that. That ain't Rufus. And then people, I'm like, look, we that's the name my wife give him. That's the name he's gonna have as long as we have him. But in the world of bulls with us, we don't keep bulls a long time because I mean we'll use them for a few years and then we sell them and you roll in fresh meat, you know, to say. So he won't be here long. I said, Lord, I guess next time before we name one, we're gonna have to Google it to make sure nothing comes up somewhere.
Well,
So
it's a good name. My uh, great great grandfather was named Rufus,
yeah,
and very intelligent, very old style, and
yep.
so. But
Uh,
To
well,
let you get off of here.
yeah, it has been almost 3.5 hours. So,
Well, that's the reason why I waited, because I figured, me being the late night person, you would get late night live with Texas Raider.
I told him, look, it is the night to now the 19th. And I said I was gonna do no shave November. And boy, it's to that point right now, it's driving me bonkers.
Yep, I shaved my yeah. I get to that point, and it's like,
Yeah,
ugh. And yeah,
yeah.
same
They
way.
always say if you can get past the itching part, it's all good. But the more I grow, the whiter it gets. So
Right, it's been a good chat, and it's been a good
yep,
live.
yep. I can't look. I can't believe there's still 10 people watching.
I can't believe they're sitting there talking, letting us. I mean, jibber jabber.
Yeah,
They're still commenting, but
yeah, yeah. That's
we
that's
all have
right, Beth. That's kind of the way I felt about it right there. But
to
I don't want to.
stay safe. If you need anything, you got my number.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
All right. Good night, everyone.
See you, Chris.
See you, Trey.
Well, guys, I guess that is going to wrap it up. We have been on here for almost 3.5 hours. So, and I really appreciate everybody that's come on and stayed, whether you've just come around for a minute or skipped through. And um, I know that's what some people do. They just kind of make their loops, go around and catch everybody's lives. So it's so many lives out there, and I hate doing mine so late because it makes some people stay up so late. But I do it as late as I do because I don't want to get on nobody else's life. At least people's lives that's kind of in the let's say the community that we're kind of in. So, but Carmen's only 11:25 here. Well, it's 12:25 here. So, but anyway, it's been a good one, and I appreciate it. And like I said, um, which everybody will know. We'll talk about it more and more, but um, uh, once I get monetized for sure and hit all that, we're going to get around and we're going to do another giveaway. So, and we'll do it probably be about like that. We'll probably be better than last time. Probably do more stuff. So, but anyway, I'm happy I got to try out my this Restream, and I think I may end up just doing a purchase thing on it, and because I'm all about. I mean, I've had so many channels that has helped me to grow, and the things that we've done, and everything, and I'd like to be able to repay that a little bit. So I may come down to um, hang on. I may come down to a point to where if I get it to where we can co-stream, I believe if I buy the cheapest package they were showing today, anyway, I can have up to 3 channels, 2 or 3 channels that can co-stream off of me. So, and the way the co-streaming works, if y'all don't know, is just say, um, Karma, that I have you come on. You could come on, and we could tell everybody, hey, everybody go over to Karma's channel and go watch the live from her channel. Now, will everybody do that? Probably not, but we can ask. But if everybody was to go over and watch the live from Karma that's needing uh, watch hours, say, to get monetized, then every watch hour that goes through your channel, you get every one of those watch hours. And being that I'm the one that has the stream and you're co-streaming off of me, I get every hour that you get, I get plus the people that watch from my channel. So me telling everybody to go watch from your channel doesn't hurt me. You know, it. Oh, listen, the rain is back. It is pouring again, but it would actually help all of us. You know, so So that's something I'm looking at, and then that may be something I change a totally different time of the week. You know, I might still do my Mondays like I'm doing, and we might pick another day or something when best fits everybody to the best that we can, and do it there. You know, it's no different. Like just say Dakota and Shayla, they are they come on at an hour before me. Well, we could go in together, and they could co-stream off of me, and I could give them to have basically control just um just as I have. Because with this, I know with this restream, I seen where you can do that. You can basically, I think, have two people or two other channels that you can give complete control. So they would basically be able to do everything that I do. So that means they would see everything and do everything, and it would help us. So, you know, if just say we started the live at their time and they were co-streaming with me, and just say after an hour, their normal hour, they want to jump off. Well, as long as they don't close out their um, stream, anybody that continues to watch through their channel side, they still get the credit. So if they're only on for an hour and um, then they leave their channel, their stream going, and I go for another 3 hours, just say, then they'll get 4 hours of watch time off of everybody that watched through their channel. You're gonna look at using Restream for my Meet Me Monday. I'm telling you, I mean, this is the first time I've used it, Karma, but it the only thing that is different, and now after I've done it one time, it may not be the next time. But I had trouble trying to schedule because it kept wanting to put me in uh alive. And I don't even remember now where I clicked. I have to go back to try to go look at it, you know. Um, but anyway, but yeah, once I got it figured out, and like I said, you which would best say you need a good administrator anyway. So in case you have a runaway laugh, they can shut it down for you. Yeah, that's right. But like Karma, like let me show you here. So you can change your backgrounds in this. So you watch my background here. So I'm gonna change it to everything here. So see, you make it move to that. Then you can go there. And this is just on this is all the free stuff here that's going. And I mean it's a bunch of this stuff. I mean, there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5, 10, 15, 20, 22. There's 22 backgrounds that comes free. So, and I mean, you can go in and like change, watch around the screen here. Watch it, see the screen change around the edges, and watch here. There, see, do it whatever with Ukraine. Watch this here. See, I mean, and this is just stuff that this is called overlays. So, um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, and you can create like where the restream is up here. You can you see where the restream. I think it's saying the one up in the. Well, I don't know if you can. I don't know. I can't remember what it looks like. But anyway, you can put your own custom logos up there. You can change the font. You can change the color. I mean, I mean, I've been using um the other. Let me get back. I said I got some new messages. Um, yeah. I mean, they are. I mean, it's pretty neat what some of them are. And like I said, with the free version here, you can have up to 6 people with you. My son is super smart with technology, so he can. Oh yeah, I mean, if he's got that, it won't be nothing for him. Can you use a green screen? Um, Now you fixing to try to. You shouldn't try to make me tell you a story. I do know. I don't know what this does. Oh, see, you can change it to where you can, like your phone would look like, make it go full screen. Let's see here. You can put music in, captions, QR codes. Let me check the designs. I'm sure, yeah, you can do a green screen, I'm sure, because you can add more and you get more whenever you pay for it. I don't see a green screen on here, but I mean I'm pretty sure that will not be that's not an issue because there's lots of options that they have here. I got to quit that thing moving around there. But you can move your screens around so that makes it go to full screen. I can't do it with people, but you can do multiple layouts. If I had somebody else on here, you would be able to see exactly all the layouts, but you can share the screen. I do like what makes it easier is like when someone is wanting to present something, like in um, the other, you had to go up and click on the three dots and then click present or share or make a solo layout or something. With this, it's just like on your computer. It's just two arrows. You click on it and it makes it a solo layout. You click it again, it pulls it back down the way it was. So, um, but yeah, I mean, it's I like it. Like I said, I like it enough that I think I'm gonna try it. I mean, it's 1 year. So I mean, yeah, 100, little over $100 or whatever it is expensive. But I mean, it's for a whole year. You lay it out, it's like what, $14 a month or something like that. I think what we said earlier. So, like I said, you can click. There's a spot you can click overlay, and I can do this, and it puts all the messages up here with us. So like I said, I like it, and I probably would have never come over and tried it, um, if it hadn't have been for the other messing up on me like it did. Can you let me see? It would be it would be when you're setting up your studio or whatever they call. Okay, yeah. So I'm not sure. I'd have to go out to do that. So, but you can go in and I mean it's free. So I mean you can go in and fool with it before you buy it. That's what I'm on now. This is everything I'm doing here is on the free version of it. So, but anyway, guys, like I said, it's we're 3 hours and now going to be 40 minutes into this situation, and I appreciate everybody that's hung around. I'm sure that maybe a few of them nine we just dropped from 10 to 9 is people that's probably just left it running, and I appreciate that. But like I said, we're going to do hopefully by Wednesday. I'll know Wednesday morning if it hits and I do get my 4,000 watch hours. Which, like I said, if it don't happen Wednesday, it'll happen Thursday. So but it's fixing to happen. No ifs, ands, or buts. YouTube has been taking a lot, and then when I email them, they they talk circles. They don't ever answer your question. They tried to tell me the other night they took 80 on my earn page. They took 80 around 80 hours from me, and when I was messaging them, they tried to tell me that because I had been on YouTube for over a year, that many hours had fell off. I'd lost that many hours. Well, I've had a YouTube channel for 3 years, I think, but technically didn't start posting anything of any sort on it until 7 months ago, roughly. So we'll be giving you the market update after the sale tomorrow. Yes, I would love to know what they are, because our sale barn down here is they're kind of hit and miss, and it's a lot of more who you are sometimes. And we got this past week we got, well, I didn't sell nothing, but Dad and my son, they got pretty good prices. That they was real happy with what they got. But the time before, which was in October, Dad sold some that I mean basically got stole from him. Some of the same cows like he sold yesterday was up selling close to $4 a pound, and Dad got $1.05, I think, and $1.30 something a pound for two of them. So yeah, I'd be curious. I know the further up north you go, the the better the prices are. That's just a given, because y'all are closer. They're closer to the feedlots, closer to the slaughterhouses, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's right, exactly. Good old boys club. But anyway, yeah. But like I said, just hit me up. Let me know. I'd be curious to know what the market is. I try to keep an eye like on Facebook. A lot of these auctions, they throw up and post their stuff on Facebook what the market was that week, but that ain't always exactly true, because ours put the same thing out, and everything was supposed to be from like $2, and our weight supposed to be where from $2 and like 15 or $2.25 up to $4.05, I think. And everything else there that day did about that, except for them that Daddy sold. So we're actually gonna haul tomorrow. So I'll be filming tomorrow. Um, we're gonna catch. Well, we've already got them. We separated them today, so that'll be in the one of my, I don't know, next few videos I got coming out, because I think I've got 3 videos that I'm up now. Um, but um, tomorrow I'll do a video of loading them up, hauling to the sale barn, and that may be just a real quick video for me. He did say the $3 plus for a 6 to 7 weights was about right. Yeah, that's 6 to 7 weights is if you can get $3 a pound, you've done really good. So ours, I think my son's was 365 pounds, and I think one of let me think. I'm trying to think. No, one of Dad's heifers was 360 something a pound, and I mean 360 something pounds, and the two steers he sold, one of them was like 390 something, the other one was like 420 something, I believe, or 40 something and 420 something. My son's weighed like 290 something. He was impatient. He was ready to sell his. That was the only one he had this time. So um that's what he done. But we've actually got another sale barn close to us that I may go try, but it's one of those things that comes down to okay, I'm gonna make say 150 more dollars for a yearling, if that, give or take, whatever. But I gotta drive another hour and 15 minutes to get there to make that much more. Is it worth is it worth that? Now, who knows? I could go make 300 more dollars, and is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth the 300 more dollars. Um, but it's just like anything. It's the gamble you take, you know. But anyway, all right. Well, I'm not gonna. I keep doing it. I'm getting them. What is it? Redneck goodbyes or hillbilly goodbyes or whatever. Every time I we're fixing to do something, get off, something else comes up. So, but anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody that is stuck around, or if you didn't stick around, you left it running for me to help me with the watch hours or whatever. I really appreciate it. And like I said, everybody just be watching for um, the live in the pasture. I'm gonna try to go live to do the preg checking. That ought to be interesting. It's not gonna be I'll be making a video and going live with my phone. So it won't be nothing. I'll try to work it quick because I'll just set my phone up in one spot, run the cows in, and and see what how it works. Uh, you never know. You almost have to watch the market. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I went back and looked at all theirs, and the only way we found out about this place was there is it was actually a guy that was there that's a local guy they've never sold at this sale barn local here because of the price thing. And they um had been promised across the board them bringing in the weights that they were bringing in. Um, they were guaranteed $3 a pound. The sale barn was guaranteeing them that they would get at least $3 a pound on everything they brought in there, which is pretty good. So they tried some. They didn't quite get $3 a pound on some, but some of them they got closer to $4 a pound. But they don't know if they're going to do it again. They sell 3 times a year. Is what they told us, and they sell about 40 to 45 head each time, 3 times a year, and that's their money for the year with their herd, which is pretty good a little bit. And you figure, that many cows, that's pretty good. Close to 150 head they sell every year. So, and if you can average, like they was averaging anywhere from 1,100 to 1,500 a head. That's pretty good little payday. So, which I don't have that many by no means. Dad's got I think he sold a bunch this year, but I think Dad's probably got around 50 head is what he's got, and I've got about 11 head of mama cow. So, but anyway, well, like I said, we fixing to call this thing good, and like I said, y'all be watching for the live. So I'm gonna do. Hopefully, I can get done. I go back to work Thursday night. Um, but if not, heck, we'll do it next time I'm off. I'm only gonna work 4 days again this time. I'm gonna take vacation again, my last 3, so I'll have another 10 days off next week too. So, but anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody that's been on and watched and helped me out, and y'all take it easy, and we'll see y'all next Monday if nothing else. Thanks.